A celebrity-filled arena here. Asia Wilson in the crowd is on the Jumbotron here right now. This is Alshon Jeffrey here, the former Gamecock football great. A lot of former UConn greats are here as well, so it should be fun. It'll be a packed house for this national championship matchup. Gamecocks already 13-0 against ranked teams and looking to go 2-0 in national championship games. UConn has already beaten two of the number one seeds in this tournament with wins over Stanford and NC State. They did lose to Louisville during the regular season. And this, of course, the second meeting between the two schools this year. UConn leads the overall series between the two schools 9-2. Gamecocks won 73-57 back on November 22nd in that tournament in the Bahamas. And Gamecocks rallied from a 13-point deficit to win that game, led by Aaliyah Boston's 22 points and 15 rebounds. Zia Cook had 17 points, and Destiny Henderson was solid, 15 points and 6 steals in that one. Last year, UConn won the regular season meeting in Stores in overtime by 4 points. Aaliyah Boston had a double-double in that one. So it should be a lot of fun. Let's see if the Gamecocks can get their second national championship here. It's going to be a great crowd, and should be very interesting to see what happens here tonight if the Gamecocks can pull off their second national championship and deny Connecticut for the first time in their national championship appearance after going 11-0 in this game. In just a little bit, we're going to speak with the head coach of the Gamecocks, Dawn Staley. We'll also speak with Raylene Ross in a little bit. She's the director of sports leadership and mental performance for the Gamecock Athletics. We'll talk to her about what she does and how she impacts the Gamecocks, and get you updated on some other scores for Gamecock sports. We'll do more at halftime, but tough day on the diamond. Gamecock baseball and softball fall on the road today at Missouri in the final games of those series. And so they'll look to get back on track later this week. We'll have more updates on Gamecock athletics later at halftime. Hey, a reminder, Absolute Total Care has a commitment to improving the health of the community one individual at a time through affordable and reliable health care plans. Learn more today at AbsoluteTotalCare.com. Absolute Total Care, proud partner of Gamecock women's basketball. It's South Carolina getting set to take on the Connecticut Huskies for all the marbles in the 2022 NCAA National Championship from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Gamecocks looking for their second ever national championship. Connecticut looking for their 12th national championship and their first since 2016. Gamecocks, as we told you, won it back in 2017. We'll go ahead and take a timeout, and when we come back, we will speak to the head coach of the Gamecocks, Dawn Staley, to get her thoughts on tonight's contest. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. And we're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. Back in Minneapolis, Brad Muller joined by Dawn Staley, head coach of the Gamecocks, as Carolina gets ready to take on UConn for the national championship. Coach, coming off the win over Louisville the other night in the Final Four. And, of course, Aaliyah Boston was magnificent in that game against the Cardinals. Good production from the rest of the starters on either end of the floor as well. But then Rivers came in and gave you a lot of quality minutes off the bench, even if she wasn't scoring a lot. What's the key in knowing which button to push with your bench and getting performances from folks that don't play every day?
Very early on in our process of trying to put this team together, we knew that there are just going to be instances where some people are more favorable in different situations. We just think it's situational basketball. I thought that we had a little bit of trouble just making passes, and Rivers comes to mind when we need to complete a pass because she has really good court vision and she puts people in position where they just only have to just do their normal mechanics and go up and score. And when you can set somebody up like that, it's a very valuable aspect of the game that we needed against Louisville.
Of course, Aaliyah was big on the boards the other night, but overall, Louisville hung around with us on the glass. What are the keys for South Carolina to be dominant on the glass tonight?
I think we just have to be ourselves. I think what we've been doing all year long is taking up a lot of space, and we usually don't let anybody outwork us. I thought we got outworked at the forward position just because we got running rebounds on us. We just got out-efforted at times, and that's usually what we do to other people. So we got to get back to the way that we've been rebounding the basketball.
played a healthy UConn team way back in November. Doesn't even seem like that was this season. Got down 13 and then came back for the double-digit win. Can you take anything out of that game for this game?
Yeah, I think you can take a couple things out of it. One is our defensive presence. Just individual players who I thought did a great job at just staying in the play, just being determined to win the basketball game. So you can see some of that grit, and you can see us just handle the hustle plays and the 50-50 balls, and rebounding and being dominant. Aaliyah was dominant. Zaya had a really good game. Henny did a great job pushing tempo. So we had a collective game in which everybody contributed.
Well, let's talk about UConn now. Of course, Becker's coming back from the injury. He seems to be shooting it lights out right now, playing some good basketball. Plenty of other weapons, of course, with Fudd and Edwards, and just lots of others that can put the ball in the hole. What's the scouting report now on UConn?
Yeah, I mean, they are a team that they feel good if they have Paige in the lineup or not. Obviously, she gives them an edge when she's in the lineup, but they've built up a good rapport and chemistry when she was out of the games for a few weeks, and now they feel really good about themselves, and she's just added bonus. And if she's able to do her thing, pass the ball, and just fluidly get them into their offenses, we're going to have a long night.
Coach, good luck tonight. Let's get another win.
Thanks, Brad.
Don Staley, head coach of the Gamecocks, back with the starting lineups after we take this time out. It's Carolina basketball from Learfield.
Back in Minneapolis as we get set for basketball, the national championship between the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Connecticut Huskies. For all the marbles, we'll keep it right here. We're going to get set for our national anthem here at the Target Center. We'll let you enjoy that with us. A packed house here at the Target Center in Minneapolis.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets had the bombs bursting and proved through the night that our flame was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
Our national anthem here at the Target Center in Minneapolis as we get set for basketball. The 2022 NCAA Women's Basketball National Championship between the top-ranked South Carolina Gamecocks and the fifth-ranked Connecticut Huskies. See if the Gamecocks can win their second. UConn looking for their 12th national title. A reminder, Cool Care Heating and Air is proud to be the Gamecock Women's Basketball official review sponsor this season. Schedule an official review of your HVAC unit with Cool Care Heating and Air. Call them at 803-772-7715 or connect online at coolcarehvac.com. You can also find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Cool Care Heating and Air, South Carolina's best. Go ahead and get you the starting lineup for tonight's matchup in front of a packed house here at the Target Center in Minneapolis, and it's going to be more of a partisan Connecticut crowd here, not just because they've brought a lot of fans. They have. Gamecocks have brought a lot of fans from all points as well, but because the star for the Connecticut Huskies. Paige Beckers is from nearby Hopkins, Minnesota, basically a suburb of Minneapolis. They've got a ton of fans here to support her. Let's run through those lineups. First for UConn, coming in at 30-5. They went 16-1 in the Big East to win the Big East for Coach Geno Auriemma. He's in his 37th year in stores with 11 national championships. The last one back in 2016. Here's how they'll line up. At one guard, of course, number 5, Paige Beckers, the 5'11 sophomore from nearby Hopkins, Minnesota, out of Hopkins High School. The National High School Player of the Year, former McDonald's High School All-American, was the National and Freshman Player of the Year last year. Of course, had missed 19 games this year. That got her out of a lot of postseason accolades, but averaged 14.6 points, 3.4 rebounds, 4.1 assists per contest. Another guard is number 13, Kristen Williams, 5'11 senior from Little Rock, Arkansas, at a Central Arkansas Christian High School. Also a former National High School Player of the Year and McDonald's High School All-American. Was first team All Big East for the second year in a row. Was the Big East Tournament MVP as well this year. 8th in the league in scoring with 14.6 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per contest, has 50 3-pointers on the season. Another guard, number 35, A.Z. Fudd, 5'11 freshman from Arlington, Virginia, out of St. John's College High School. She was the number 1 recruit in the nation coming out of high school this past year. Of course, the McDonald's High School All-American, was named to the Big East All-Freshman team this year, averaging 12.5 points, 2.8 rebounds per contest. A deadly shooter, has 57 3-pointers on the season. At a forward, wearing number 3 is Aaliyah Edwards, 6'3 sophomore from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, out of Crestwood Prep. Was the Big East 6th Woman of the Year last year. 7.9 points, 5.2 rebounds per contest this year. And in the middle, number 20, Olivia Nelson-Nadota, 6'5 senior from Winder, Georgia, out of Winder Barrow High School. Also a McDonald's High School All-American, was first team All-Big East this year. 9.3 points, 7.6 rebounds, was 5th in the Big East this year. He's also 7th in the league in assists as a post player and 8th in block shots. The Huskies in the road blue uniforms with the white numbers. Red and white trim down the sides of the uniform. They'll be moving from right to left here in the first half as we look at them up high at the mezzanine level behind the benches. For Coach Dawn Staley's Gamecocks, coming in at 34-2. Of course, regular season champions in the SEC at 15-1. The usual lineup. At one guard, wearing number 3, Destiny Henderson, the 5'7 senior from Fort Myers, Florida, out of Fort Myers High School. The former McDonald's High School All-American, was first team All-SEC and honorable mention All-American this year. 11.1 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 8th in the SEC with 3.9 assists per contest. Another guard, number 1, Zia Cook, the 5'9 junior from Toledo, Ohio, out of Rogers High School. Former Consensus High School All-American, was second team All-SEC this year. 2-time honorable mention All-American as well. 10.7 points, 2 rebounds per contest. Third guard in the lineup, number 12, Bree Beal, the 6'1 junior from Rock Island, Illinois, out of Rock Island High School. The former McDonald's High School All-American. 5.1 points, 5.1 rebounds per contest. Has scored a season-high 12 points in back-to-back games here in the NCAA tournament. Another forward, the captain, number 5, Victoria Saxton, 6'2 senior from Rome, Georgia, out of Medill High School. 5.8 points, 5.9 rebounds per contest, 7th in the SEC in blocked shots. And in the middle, as always, number 4, Aaliyah Boston, a 6'5 junior from St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands by way of Worcester Academy in Massachusetts. Former Consensus High School All-American, was the Consensus National Player of the Year this year, along with the National Defensive Player of the Year, SEC Player of the Year, and SEC Defensive Player of the Year for the 3rd time, and a first-team All-American for the 2nd time as well. 29 double-doubles on the season, 7th in the SEC in scoring with 17 points per game, 2nd in rebounds with 12.4 boards, and 2nd in block shots. Gamecocks in the home white uniforms with the garnet numbers trimmed in black, the garnet and black trim down the side of the uniforms. They'll be moving from left to right for Coach Dawn Staley. Gamecocks, as we told you, in search of their 2nd ever national championship. First one, of course, coming back in 2017. Connecticut in search of its 12th national championship. They are 11-0 in these title games. Their last national championship was back in 2016. There's been a lot of parity in women's basketball since then. And we'll see who comes out on top tonight. Your officials for tonight's game, unfamiliar crew. We'll see how that bodes for South Carolina. Madge Forsberg, Nicole Murray, and Michael McConnell. Really not familiar with having any of those 3 officials often or at all this season. So we'll see how that plays out. Great crowd, as you might expect, as this place is sold out, packed to the brim. Again, probably more, maybe 70%, 65% Connecticut, NC State. To get to the Final Four, NC State was the top seed in the Bridgeport region, and then in the Final Four here in this national semifinal, they defeated the number 1 seed, Stanford Cardinal, out of the Spokane region. For the Gamecocks, of course, first-round win over Howard, second-round win over Miami, then beat North Carolina in Greensboro, and followed that up with a win over the Cinderella Creighton squad to get to the Final Four, and then Friday knocked off the number 1 seed from the Wichita Regional Louisville Cardinals here on Friday night. Should be a good one. Second meeting between these two teams this year. Gamecocks won the first meeting way back in November at the tournament in the Bahamas. Gamecocks won that one 73-57, out-rebounded the Huskies 42-25 and rallied from a 13-point first-half deficit. Victoria Saxton, the jump setter for the Gamecocks, will be opposed by Olivia Nelson-Adota for the Huskies. Lead official to the jump circle. And we are underway in the 2022 NCAA Women's National Championship game. Gamecocks win the tip, moving left to right. Bree Beal on the right wing. Man-to-man defense, it appears, for the Huskies. Up top now to Saxton. She'll hand it off to Destiny Henderson. Dribbling right, spins back to her left in the paint. Floats it high off the glass, nowhere near. May have gotten partially blocked. Saxton with the offensive rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. Near corner, Henny all alone for three. Bang, got it, and the Gamecocks strike first as Destiny Henderson hits the three ball from the corner. Her 53rd of the season, and the Gamecocks lead here early, 3-0. Huskies on their first possession now. Gamecocks match up man-to-man. They have it at the top of the circle. Dribbling left with it is Edwards. Into the corner it comes to Williams. Williams around a screen, gets it back, top of the circle. She'll try a three. Back rimmed it, no good. Rebound Zaya Cook, and the Gamecocks have it. Zaya wants to run. Zaya driving into the lane. She will float it up and in, and the Gamecocks lead it 5-0 as they get the transition game going early. Zaya Cook with her first point. Good start for the Gamecocks. A minute gone by here. Here come the Huskies on their second possession. They work it to the top of the circle to Edwards. Driving the lane on Henderson. That's a mismatch, and she'll get the layup. Somehow the Gamecocks got switched defensively, and big Edwards 6'3", going against 5'7" Destiny Henderson, and obviously the math didn't work out well for the Gamecocks on that trip. 5-2, Carolina in front. 8:35 to play in the opening quarter. Henderson on the right baseline. Short jumper, missed it short. And rebound lost out of bounds. Goodness, Henderson was wide open from 6 feet and couldn't get that one to go after hitting a three from the corner a moment ago. So now Connecticut with the basketball. Gamecocks leading it 5-2. Beckers will bring it up. She'll get it across the timeline. Dribbling to her left where Henderson picks her up. Now running the weave up top. Work it to Fudd, the freshman. Now Nelson-Adota. Shy of the free throw line. Backs up to the top of the circle. Entry pass knocked away by Saxton. And the Gamecocks come out of there with it. Zaya Cook waits for the numbers. The Gamecocks will settle into the half court off the turnover. Destiny Henderson works it left side to Bree Beal in the corner. Beal puts it on the floor, trying to go baseline. Spins to her right. Shot up nowhere near. Boston with the rebound. Her first touch. Muscles it up, no good. Gets her own rebound. She'll kick it back out to Henderson. Boston, through a sea of arms, couldn't get it to go. She's got it on the low block. Back out to Henny. Henny with a little up fake on Beckers. Tries to drive around her, knifing her way in. Puts up a prayer that's not answered. But Boston with the rebound, and her stick back is good. Gamecocks lead it 7-2 as Aaliyah Boston gets her first points. 7.5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Here's Beckers dribbling left. Hands it off to Fudd. Top of the circle, ball fumbled by Edwards, but she recovers on the left wing. Back to Nelson-Adota, top of the key. Guarded by Boston. Shot clock down to 15. Work it right side to Williams. Now back, Edwards will take an 18-footer straight away. Back rimmed it, no good. Rebound to Bree Beal, and the Gamecocks have it. 7:14 to play in the opening quarter. Beal drives the lane right side on Beckers. Puts it up, no good. Fight for the rebound. Beal's got it somehow. Power dribble through a sea of arms. Puts it up and in, and the Gamecocks lead 9-2. 4 of the 5 starters have scored for the Gamecocks, and Carolina leads by 7 with 3 minutes gone by. Good board work on the offensive glass there by Carolina. Here's Edwards up top, working on Saxton for the Huskies. Gets it to Williams. He'll drive to the free throw line. 15-foot jumper, missed it short. Rebound Zaya Cook, and the Gamecocks have it. Zaya wants to run. Trying to drive into the lane. Little hop step, had the ball stripped out of her hands and out of bounds. It'll remain with the Gamecocks. 9-2, Carolina leads with 6:39 to play in the opening quarter. Gamecocks just 4 out of 10 from the floor, but they've out-rebounded the Huskies 8-1 here in the early going. Here's Cook, left baseline, jumper up, got it. Zaya Cook with her second bucket, and Coach Geno Auriemma is going to burn a timeout to stop the bleeding. The Gamecocks have taken a 9-point lead at 11-2 with 6:35 to play in the first quarter. We'll step aside. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. And we're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball by South Carolina. Still a long way to go in this one, obviously. Huskies 1 out of 4 from the floor. The bucket by Edwards. Teams meeting for the 12th time. Gamecocks have won 2 of the last 3 meetings, including once earlier this year back in November. The loss came last year in overtime up in Connecticut. Prior to that, the Gamecocks beat the Huskies a couple of seasons ago at Colonial Life Arena. Gamecocks with 5 offensive rebounds here in the early going. On the floor for the Gamecocks, original starting 5, Henderson, Cook, Beal, Saxton, and Boston. Gamecocks in their home whites. The Connecticut ball and the road blues moving right to left and ready to get this thing restarted. Beckers will bring it up. Henderson will meet her at midcourt. Gets it across the Final Four logo. Up top to Nelson Adota. Back to the basket. Now squares up. Boston playing about 4 feet off her. Now comes Eider. Gets it off to AZ Fudd, the fabulous freshman. Works it right side. Whistle away from the ball. And they're going to get a foul in the Gamecocks. First whistle of the game. I'm going to put that on Zaya Cook. I thought that was initially on Bree Beal, but put it on Zaya. It was away from the basketball. Beckers will bring it in, gets it in the right side to Nelson Adota. Out on the right wing. She doesn't want to shoot it from there. We'll hand it off to Beckers. Beckers. Boston picks her up on the switch. Back to the top to Edwards. Now back to Beckers. Henderson picks her up on the switch. Dribbling into the lane. Spins to her right. Back to Nelson Adota. She gets her man in the air. Boston picks her up on the switch on the low block. 3 to shoot it. Feeds it inside, and it's stolen by Saxton. Would have been a shot clock violation either way. Good defense there by South Carolina with the switching on defense. 4 minutes gone by. Gamecocks lead it 11-2 here. Henderson dribbling left wing and with Beckers in front of her. Slowly getting into their offensive set here. Works it left side to Boston. Boston with 13 to shoot it, trying to back in on Nelson Adota. Back up top to Henny. Back to Boston now, halfway down the lane. Spinning to her right in the lane, puts it up and missed it. Rebound Saxton on the other side. She'll go back up top. Ball was tipped by Beckers. Henderson will watch it go out of bounds off of Beckers. So Carolina will retain possession. Shot clock is at 16. 5:29 to play in the quarter. Gamecocks lead at 11-2 here. Gamecocks going in and out with Boston, trying to set her up. Create some movement so she can at least get a one-on-one. Henderson dribbling left across the logo. Picked up by Beckers as they match up man-to-man. Gets a screen from Saxton. Doesn't do much with it. Dribbling to her right. Passes to Zaya Cook at the foul line. Her 15-footer is good. And Zaya Cook has 6 points. The Gamecocks lead it 13-2. It's an 8-0 run by the Gamecocks. 5:08 to play in the opening quarter. Here come the Huskies. Fudd up top. Passes left to Edwards. On the left wing, Saxton playing 5 feet off her. Nelson Adota shy of the free throw line, dribbling to her right. Shot clock halfway down. Now to Beckers, whistle away from the ball. Traveling called. Gamecocks will have it on the turnover. And that'll send us to a timeout with 4:55 to play in the first quarter. South Carolina leading UConn 13-2. We'll step aside as well. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. We're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. Gamecocks still have the starting 5 on the floor here. See if they can keep this run going. It's an 8-0 run for the Gamecocks. It'll be Carolina ball. We'll have to bring it in the backcourt along the far sideline, and we'll see some pressure in the backcourt this trip by the Huskies. We wait for TV to give us permission to play. Gamecocks in the home whites, Connecticut in their road blues. Gamecocks in search of their second national championship. Connecticut in search of their 12th. Boston will look to trigger it in along the far sideline. Still waiting for TV to stop their yakking so we can play basketball. Here we go. Triggered into Henderson, picked up by Beckers. Looks like we might get a little trap here. Now they back out of it, just a man-to-man. Henderson across the timeline, dribbling to her left as the Gamecocks settle into the half-court offense. Up top to Boston, near side to Zaya Cook. She'll spot up for a quick 3. Back rimmed it no good. Rebound Bree Beal, and the Gamecocks have it. Good board work there once again by the Gamecocks. Feed it to Boston on the left baseline. Boston puts it on the floor on Nelson Adota. Knifing in. Had the ball knocked out of her hands. Zaya Cook recovers with 9 to shoot it. Gamecocks have it. Here's Destiny Henderson. Henderson trying to drive in the lane. Spins to the left. Puts the shot up. It was blocked. And it's a shot clock violation, but the Huskies came out of there with the rebound anyway. Here comes Connecticut in transition. They want to get out and go if they can. Avina Westbrook delivers left side to Williams. She'll drive the baseline. Cut off by Beal. Goes all the way underneath the basket. Finally cut off and delivers back up top to Avina Westbrook. Here's Beckers now right side. Feeds it out in the corner. Now down low. Nelson Adota working in against Boston. Her fadeaway in the paint is good, and the 8-0 run is snapped to make it 13-4 with 3:54 to play in the quarter. About a 4.5-minute scoring drought there by the Huskies. See if the Gamecocks can answer here as the lead is trimmed to 9. Boston feeds it up top to Bree Beal. Boston is posted up high. Beal dribbling right. Get it down low to Saxton. Saxton through a double team. Puts it up and in for her first points, and the Gamecocks lead 15-4. Victoria Saxton with her first bucket. Here come the Huskies. Up top is Edwards. Passing left to Beckers. Comes off the screen. Pulls up from 17 feet. Back rimmed it no good. Rebound lost out of bounds for the Gamecocks as Edwards unable to clean it up, and the Gamecocks will have it. Sub in for the Huskies. Nika Mule checks in. The sophomore guard from Croatia was a real spark plug for them. She'll pick up Kristen Williams. Looks like we'll get some trapping pressure this time by the Huskies. Boston came out for the Gamecocks. Letitia Ami here checks in. The redshirt junior from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Trapping pressure in the backcourt. Henderson trying to stay out of a double team. Zips it across to L.A. L.A. gets it back to Zion when the Gamecocks will settle into the half court. So Boston out of the game for the first time. Henderson playing traffic cop up top. Wants Saxton to set a screen. Shot clock's already down to 13, and the Gamecocks haven't made a pass in their half-court offense here. Now it's under 10. Here's Zaya Cook left side. Zaya puts it on the floor, tries to drive, floats it high off the glass and in. Zaya Cook on the dribble drive, and the Gamecocks lead 17-4. Zaya having a big first half. That's 8 points for her. 2:45 to play in the first quarter. Here's Paige Beckers, dribbling right wing. Working on Saxton on the switch. Cuts inside the foul line. Gets it off to Westbrook. Westbrook bounce pass in the lane. Ball knocked loose. It's still loose. And the Huskies come out of there with it. Shot clock at 8, and they've got Mule wide open underneath the basket. Somehow she slipped a defender and got the layup, and the lead is trimmed 17-6. Somehow we lost Mule there. Zaya Cook gets it across to Destiny Henderson. 17-6 Gamecocks. 2:13 to play in the first quarter. Here's Beal driving into the lane. Cut off halfway down. Needs help. Up top to Henderson. She ran into a big tree in Aaliyah Edwards and thought better of shooting it. Shot clock down to 10 now for Henning. Henning splits a couple of defenders. Shot clock at 8. Keziah left wing. Deep three from the left wing. Off the rim, no good. Saxton fighting for the rebound. It's going to be UConn basketball. Usually there's a quick whistle on a tie-up, but they let it go. Here come the Huskies in transition. Nelson Adota will drive, shoot, and scores. The Gamecocks didn't get back on defense, and it's 17-8, and that's something the Gamecocks are going to have to watch out for, is that transition offense of the Huskies. Up top it comes to L.A. 90 seconds to play in the quarter. L.A. drive in the lane, banks it in for 2, and the Gamecocks lead 19-8 as L.A. scores their first points of the championship. 1:25 to play, back to an 11-point lead for the Gamecocks. Huskies with the basketball. Beckers up top to Mule. Working on Beal. Feeds it underneath the Beckers. Pass too strong. Out of bounds. Gamecocks will have it. 1:16 to play. Boston back in. Saxton will come out for the first time. Fourth turnover by the Huskies tonight. Lily Grisette checks in for the first time. The graduate student from Durham, North Carolina. And she'll pick up Zaya Cook, who exits with a team-high 8 points after hitting 4 out of 6 shots. Pressure in the backcourt. Beal looks to bring it up on Beckers. Beal will get it across left side. Up top to L.A. Man-to-man defense for the Huskies. Works it left side to Beal. Down low to Boston. They're double-teaming her now. She tries to back her way in against Nelson Adota. Puts it up and not in. Rolls off the back of the rim, no good, but she's fouled and will go to the line. Hoping to get the and one there. It's been a quiet night offensively so far by Boston. 2 points, does have 3 rebounds in her 7 minutes of play, and she'll get a couple of cracks at the free throw line. That's just the first foul on Connecticut, and it'll go on Nelson Adota. Gamecocks will go to their bench again as Breezy Hall will check in. The freshman from Dayton, Ohio will pick up Bree Beal. And it'll be Boston at the line to shoot the first free throws of the night for the Gamecocks. Boston's first free throw rolls off no good. Boston usually normally very good at the free throw line. It's 78%, but misses her first opportunity there. One more time for Boston. Second free throw is good, and it's 20-8 as Boston hits 1 out of 2. Gamecocks trying to trap in the backcourt. Mule wriggles through a couple of defenders, gets it to Beckers, and she'll get it across. 49 seconds to play in the quarter. Gamecocks lead by 12. Wide open is Westbrook left wing. Her three-pointer won't go down. and a foul over the back on Nelson Adota. That's 2 on her and 2 on the Huskies. It'll be Carolina ball. The Connecticut fans don't like it, but that was an easy call as Nelson Adota came over the back of the Carolina defender. It'll be South Carolina ball as Nelson Adota is going to have to come out and should be picked up by Caroline Ducharme, the 6'2 freshman from Milton, Massachusetts, who's played well, averaging just under 10 points per game, a former McDonald's High School All-American. LA looking to trigger it in. It was knocked out of bounds by Mules. They're putting a lot of pressure right on the ball here. Again, LA to trigger it in. She'll get it into Breezy, the freshman, looking to bring it up and stay out of the trap. She will get it across the logo. Now the Gamecocks will settle into the half court. 33 seconds to play in the first quarter. Gamecocks lead UConn 20-8. Shot clock down to 15 now as Zaya will wait probably till it gets to under 10 seconds to start the offense. Mule picks her up in the man-to-man. Up top it comes to Boston. Shot clock at 8. Boston will try to drive. Spins to her right. Floats it up and in. And the Gamecocks lead 22-8. Boston with the bucket. 13 seconds to play in the quarter. Here come the Huskies looking for the last shot. Ducharme right side. 7 seconds to play. Feeds it to Edwards right wing. She'll try to drive on Boston. Floats it out. She stepped out of bounds. Carolina ball. Good pressure there defensively by Aaliyah Boston, who can do it at both ends, obviously. The National Player and Defensive Player of the Year. Gamecocks will have it with 2.7 seconds to play in the first quarter. Triggered into Zaya Cook. Zaya three-quarter court shot at the buzzer. Nowhere near, and that's how the first quarter will end. 10 minutes in the books in the national championship. And South Carolina leads Connecticut 22-8. We'll step aside and be back. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. We're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. Since 2016. Show you the parity in women's basketball that Connecticut hasn't won it since 2016 and hasn't been a back-to-back champion during any of that stretch. With, of course, South Carolina, Baylor, Stanford in recent years, and Notre Dame winning national championships. Since South Carolina won it in 2017, of course, no NCAA tournament in 2020, where the Gamecocks would have been the number 1 overall seed. On the floor to start the second quarter for the Gamecocks in their home whites, it's Destiny Henderson, Breezy Hall, Lily Grisette, Aaliyah Boston, and checking in for the first time, Camila Cardoso, the 6'7 sophomore from Brazil. It'll be Connecticut basketball to start the second quarter, moving right to left in their road blues. Waiting for the extended TV timeout here. This is why you need radio in your life. We want to get to the action quicker. Beckers will trigger it in, or rather Nika Mule will trigger it in across the way at midcourt for Connecticut. Lily Grisette will stand in front of her. Great crowd here, as you might expect, at the national championship. This place is packed. Mule triggers it in to Edwards, right wing, trying to drive on Cardoso. Will hand it off up top to Westbrook. Westbrook driving left side, cut off the foul line. Interior pass knocked away, but recovered by Ducharme. Trying to drive on Boston, cut off in the corner. Feeds it to Edwards. He'll drive the lane. Ball knocked out of her hands and recovered by Camila Cardoso. Gamecocks have it on the 6th Husky turnover. Good defense there by KC. Camila Cardoso. Gamecocks lead at 22-8. Here's Breezy Hall left wing. A lot of shoving going on inside, but they're not calling it. Boston comes out of the paint. High post to Cardoso. Right of the lane. Looking inside. Passes left to Breezy. Breezy puts it on the floor. Drives. A lot of contact. No foul. Shot up. No good. Fight for the rebound. And going to get the foul on the floor on the Huskies. Let's see what that's going to work on. That'll be on Avina Westbrook. She'll pick up her first. And the team's first this quarter. So Carolina ball. Boy, they were really letting them play inside a moment ago. Boston really getting shoved around in there. Henderson will bring it in to the left of the basket. Lobs it in for Boston, but that entry pass was knocked away. Boston scrambling for it. Henderson finally comes out of there with it. Gamecocks have it. Henderson drives against one of the Giants. Puts the shot up, no good. Lely with the rebound will kick it back out to Breezy Hall. Shot clock down to 6. Don't know if anyone's aware of that. Boston, 3 seconds to shoot it. To Henny left wing for 3. Bang! To beat the buzzer. Destiny Henderson beats the buzzer, and the Gamecocks lead 25-8 as Henderson dials long distance for her second 3 ball. Big 3 there to beat the buzzer. Here's Ducharme driving the lane left side on Boston. Cut off on the low block. Got away with the travel. Delivers up top to Beckers. Beckers working on Henderson, trying to drive into the lane, pulls up from 14 feet and got it for her first points. And that makes it 25-10. The lead is trimmed to 15. Here's Breezy Hall left wing, all by herself, but doesn't pull the trigger on the three. Instead, we'll work it around. Lely passes right to Henny. Henny looking for Boston, but she's gobbled up inside. Shot clock at 15. Get it to Boston on the baseline. Zips it across to Breezy. Breezy, left wing three. Back rimmed it no good. Rebound Cardoso. Stick back good. Camila Cardoso makes it 27-10. Gamecocks in front with 8:04 to play in the second quarter. Here comes Ducharme driving. Kicks it back out to Edwards. 15-foot jumper is good. Nice stroke there by Edwards. Makes it 27-12 with 7:52 to play in the second quarter. Henderson fighting off Mule as she crosses the timeline. Tight man-to-man pressure. Work it left side to Breezy Hall. Gamecocks with a 15-point lead here. High post to Cardoso. Back out to Henny. Near corner. She'll try another three. Bang! Got it again. And it's 30-12. Destiny Henderson, 3 for 3 from distance. And the Gamecocks have opened up an 18-point lead. 7.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Beckers will drive. Gets the layup to go as the Gamecocks couldn't stop the dribble drive penetration, and the lead cut to 16. Here comes Breezy Hall the other way in transition. Misses the layup, but Boston is there. Stick back won't go. Lely with the rebound. Stick back won't go. Oh, goodness. The Gamecocks just missed 3 shots from 2 feet. Here comes Beckers the other way for the Huskies. Gamecocks lead is 16. Beckers cut off at the foul line. Spins, shoots anyway, and buries it. Back-to-back basket for Beckers. And that gets the Connecticut fans into it as Beckers starting to heat up. Quickly, she has 6 points after nothing in the first quarter. The lead trimmed to 14 at 30-16, and that was a little 4-point swing there as the Gamecocks missed 3 shots in a row from 2 feet of the basket. 6:40 to play in the second quarter. Zip it to Lely right side. Lely spits a couple of defenders. It's going to be tied up by Beckers. Held ball possession favors the Gamecocks, and Lely made a mistake of dribbling right into the teeth of a couple of defenders. Bree Beal, Zia Cook back in. Breezy Hall, Lely Grisette out. Carolina ball with 6:35 to play. A mini 4-0 run here by the Huskies. Edwards out for the Huskies. Kristen Williams back in for them. Gamecocks will bring it in baseline right side. Henderson to do the honors. Got to keep the foot on the gas here. Henny looks to trigger it in. Whistle away from the ball. Going to be a foul on the Huskies, and that's going to go on Avina Westbrook. That's 2 on her. They're really tugging at the jersey of Aaliyah Boston. Second foul on the Huskies this quarter. So now we'll bring it in baseline left side. Again, Henny to do the honors. Gets it underneath to Bree Beal. Going against Ducharme, the big freshman. Puts it up, but they're going to get her for a travel. Basket went, but they're not going to count it. Apparently Beal shuffled the feet. That's the first turnover of the game for the Gamecocks, and it comes with 6:32 to play in the second quarter. The lead is 14. It was 18 just minutes ago. So UConn looking to get on a little bit of a run here. Westbrook across the timeline. Comes off the screen to her right. Picked up by Cardoso on the switch, and then she dribbled it off her shoe and out of bounds. And the Gamecocks will have it on an unforced turnover. That is 7 by the Huskies here. Gamecocks need to make them pay and turn it into points, get the momentum back, even though Carolina leads it by 14. Henderson will bring it up slowly. South Carolina will settle into the half court. Henderson dribbling to her right. Up top to Boston coming out of the paint. Now left side to Bree Beal. Back up top, Boston. Near side to Zia. Shot clock halfway down. To Cardoso, right elbow. Cardoso needs some help. Gives it up to Henny. Henny drives to the foul line. Pull-up jumper. Back rimmed it no good. Cardoso with the rebound. Stick back good. Camila Cardoso with her second bucket. And the Gamecocks lead 32-16. Here come the Huskies the other way. They lob it in. Wide open is Nelson Adota under the basket, and she'll get the layup as the Gamecocks got crossed up defensively there. You hate to give up an easy one like that as Adota gets her second bucket. It's 32-18 Gamecocks. 5.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Work it left side to Bree Beal. Beal to Boston on the baseline on the far side. 15 to shoot it. She tries to back her way in. Tries to drive, and they're going to get it for an offensive foul. And boy, what a flop by the Connecticut defender, Olivia Nelson Adota. Gamecock fans don't like it, but that looked like something you see at a Saturday soccer match. She may have had position anyway, but she gave it some extra oomph with the big flop. And it's hard not to make that call. So turnover goes back to the Huskies. First foul on Boston. Gamecocks lead 32-18, but Connecticut with the basketball as we approach the midpoint of the second quarter. Here's Beckers. Wants someone to set a screen for her. Dribbling at the top of the circle to her right. Shot clock down to 15. Drives to the left elbow. Off-balance shot. Somehow she got that to go, and a late whistle. My goodness, he's going to put Beckers at the line. Beckers was falling away to her left, and Bree Beal fell into her, and is going to be whistled for the foul, unfortunately. First foul on Beal. Sanaya Rivers checks in for the Gamecocks. The freshman from Wilmington, North Carolina, makes her first appearance after playing 20 minutes in the semifinal game. She picks up Henderson. First free throw is good for Beckers, and you hate to see her heat up. She's got 7 points all in this quarter, and it's 32-19. Gamecocks lead is trimmed after leading by as many as 16. Second free throw, missed it short, and we didn't box out. They got the rebound. Kick it back out to Beckers. Midway through the second quarter, here's Beckers, left wing. Back up top to Edwards. Gives it back to Beckers. Trying to drive. Cut off. Now back up top to Edwards. Shot clock under 10. She'll drive. Shot with the right hand. No good. This time the rebound's going to be taken away by Edwards. All of a sudden the Gamecocks not getting the rebounds they were getting earlier. Beckers steps back into a 16-footer. Missed that one. Rebound Bree Beal, and the Gamecocks have it. And there's a foul underneath on the Huskies. Going to put that on Caroline Ducharme, the freshman. She'll pick up her first foul, and that'll send us to a timeout. 4:40 to play. Carolina in front of Connecticut, 32-19 here in the second quarter. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. We're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. And from the floor in the first quarter, they have certainly heated things up. 5 of their last 7. They are led by Paige Beckers with 7 points. All those points coming in the second quarter. She's hit 3 out of 5 shots. And Cox going to have to try to slow her down. Gamecocks break the huddle in front of their bench down below us. And taking the floor, it's Zaya Cook, Sanaya Rivers, Bree Beal, Letitia Mihir, and Camilla Cardoso. It'll be South Carolina ball. They'll have to go the length of the floor, facing some pressure in the backcourt by the Huskies. Rivers, the freshman, will bring it up, and we're underway. Rivers across the timeline. Dribbling to her right to the wing. Up top to L.A. Dangerous pass there. Working around left side. Almost threw it away. Zaya's got it. To the top of the circle. Pulls up from 15 straight away. Left it short. Cardoso with the rebound. Needs some help. Gets it out to L.A. left side. Bounce pass to Beal on the left baseline. Tough defense here by the Huskies. Beal dribbles into a double team. Has a shot blocked as she goes up by Edwards. And Edwards pulls down the rebound. Gamecocks really struggling to get good shots off here as UConn has turned it up a notch defensively. Huskies with the basketball. Gamecocks lead 32-19. Here's Ducharme right side. On the give and go, she will drive and get a layup. And the Gamecocks defense, not what it was in the first quarter. All of a sudden the lead is trimmed 32-21. A mini 5-0 run here by the Huskies. Feed it down low to Cardoso coming out of the paint right side. Needs some help. She's double teamed. She turns it over. Just held it idly way too long. Got to do something with it. Either shoot it, drive it, or get rid of it. Here's Beckers for 3, top of the arc, and she airballed it. It'll be Carolina ball. Gamecocks lead is cut to 11. It was 16. 3:35 to play in the second quarter, but right now the Huskies have kicked it up a notch on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. Gamecocks need an answer. Cardoso out, Saxton back in for the Gamecocks. Rivers will bring it up. Rivers gets it across the logo. Hands it off to Beal. Beal dribbling to the top of the circle. Now the handoff to Zaya, top of the key. She'll drive the lane right side. Puts it high off the glass, no good. Rebound, lost out of bounds to the Huskies. And again, the Gamecocks really struggling from the floor. Just 1 for their last 8. Gamecocks offense certainly cooled off. Scoring drought of over 2.5 minutes for Carolina. Chance for the Huskies to cut the deficit to single digits here. Gamecocks need a stop. As the script has been flipped here from the first quarter to the second quarter. Beckers across the timeline working on Bree Beal. Top of the circle, now back to her left. Trying to drive. Cut off. Back up top it comes. 3 ball from the left wing. Won't bank in. Rebound Letitia and me here, and the Gamecocks have it. L.A. will bring it across the timeline. We'll wait for the numbers. Gets it back to Rivers. We'll settle into the half court. Gamecocks need a bucket. Haven't scored in 3 minutes. Beal, top of the circle. To L.A. L.A. hands it off to Zaya, top of the arc. Shot clock at 12. She'll try a 3. Back rim, no good. No white jerseys underneath. Gamecocks were dominating early under the glass. Not so much here. Ducharme wide open for 3. Missed it short. Zaya Cook with the rebound. Boy, do the Gamecocks need something good to happen. 1 for their last 9 from the floor and a scoring drought of 3.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Gamecocks lead at 32-21. Zaya coming off a screen, drives in the lane, needs some help, kicks it back out and threw it away. My goodness. Gamecocks just crumbling right now. Aaliyah Boston will come in, Ami here out, but no flow to the offense. 4 turnovers in the last 5 minutes for the Gamecocks and a scoring drought of 3.5 minutes. 1 for their last 9, and all of a sudden everything that the Gamecocks were doing right, shooting the ball, good defense and rebounding, starting to go the other way. Huskies with the ball, Gamecocks with an 11-point lead. Westbrook dribbling right to the top of the circle, wide open for 3, missed it, and the rebound lost out of bounds to the Huskies. Saxton skied for it, but she arched her back and ended up flinging it out of bounds. Destiny Henderson back in, Zaya Cook out. Gamecocks need a stop. They deliver up top to DeBerry. Now Edwards feeds it underneath to Ducharme, and she'll get the layup, and just like that, the lead is trimmed 32-23. It's a 7-0 run by the Huskies. Under 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. Gamecocks need to get the momentum back. 1 for the last 9 of the Gamecocks. Inside to Saxton, coming out of the paint now, right side. Puts it on the floor with the left hand, bumped but no foul. See if we can get Boston a touch here. Shot clock at 13. Henny on the left wing. Feed it near side to Beal. Beal looking inside, tries to drive the baseline, puts an awkward shot up, no good. Ball lost out of bounds to the Gamecocks with 6 seconds on the shot clock. But the Gamecocks haven't scored in 4 minutes. We're dominating this game early, led 32-16. Now it's 32-23, and can't get anything to go. Now shooting under 40%. Here's Rivers in the far corner, spots up a 3 and airballed it. She's 1 for 31 from three-point range. After that miss, here come the Huskies in transition. The Gamecocks don't get back, and we give up a layup. And Coach Dawn Staley's got to stop the bleeding. She's calling for a timeout, but the officials don't see her. Henderson will drive, shoot, and score, and the Gamecocks lead 34-25 to finally get a bucket. Well, Dawn wanted a timeout. Fortunate didn't get it. Beckers will drive, puts up an off-balance shot left side. It goes, and it's 34-27. Beckers heating up with 9 points here in the second quarter. Henny the other way. She'll drive. Misses badly on the layup. Rebound to the Huskies with 55 seconds to play, but they throw it out of bounds. And the Gamecocks will have it. But boy, Connecticut with all kinds of momentum now. Gamecocks were shooting 50% at the end of the first quarter, just 38% right now. Gamecocks are 5 for 19 from the floor here in the second quarter. Not shooting it well, not taking care of the ball, and giving up a lot of layups. Beckers now has 9 points all in the second quarter. Everything South Carolina was doing well in the first quarter, not doing well in the second. Offensively, defensively, under the glass. 53 seconds to play in the half. Gamecocks lead is just 7. Saxton loses the handle in the corner, gets it up top to Henny. Henny guarded by Muell in the man-to-man top of the key. Up top to Boston, who's had a quiet half. She'll put it on the floor into the lane right side. Floats it up, missed it. Fight for the rebound. She gets it on the other side, then it's knocked out of her hands. It's going to be tied up. Held ball, possession to the Gamecocks with 30.1 seconds to play. My goodness, Gamecocks have missed a lot of 2-footers tonight. On one possession, they missed 3 in a row from 2 feet. For whatever reason, the cone has been squeezed here in the second quarter. Boston to bring it in baseline right side. Gets it up top to Saxton. Gamecocks will settle into the half court. Boston being shoved around in the paint. Saxton kicks it out right side to Rivers. Rivers drives in the baseline. She's hacked on the way up. Finally a whistle. Goodness. Going to put the foul on Ducharme, and that'll send Rivers to the line. That's where Rivers is at her best, is driving to the basket. She took an open 3 a moment ago, but again, the 3-point shot has not been hers this year. She's just 1 for 31 from 3-point range. May have to rethink taking those shots, even though she was open. Now she's at the free throw line where she's only a 50% foul shooter, but she hits the first one to make it 35-27. 22.3 seconds to play in the second quarter. One more time for Rivers. And missed that one. Rebound Ducharme for the Huskies. Connecticut can work for the final shot if they so choose. 18 seconds to play. It's an 8-point lead for the Gamecocks, after the Gamecocks have led by as many as 16. So Connecticut's got to feel good about cutting that deficit in half. Muell dribbling top of the circle, working on Beal. Comes off a screen, hands it off to Beckers. 5 seconds to play. Beckers off a screen. Oh, offensive foul as Destiny Henderson was blasted to the floor on the screen. Offensive foul on the Huskies will give it back to the Gamecocks. Unfortunately, it won't result in free throws since it was an offensive foul. The Gamecocks will have it with 3.3 seconds remaining. Saxton to trigger it in, gets it into Ami here. Ami here will drive into the lane, floats it up, puts it up, no good off the rim, and that's how the first half will end. 20 minutes in the books for the 2022 NCAA Women's Basketball National Championship. South Carolina had a 16-point lead. It's down to 8, but they'll go into the locker room with the lead, 35-27. We'll take a timeout, come back with some first half stats, highlights, and take you around Gamecock athletics as well. 35-27, Gamecocks lead at the break. South Carolina Women's Basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. We're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. And we welcome you back to the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota for the 2022 NCAA Women's Basketball National Championship. South Carolina leading fifth-ranked Connecticut 35-27 as we get set to start the third quarter. But again, Connecticut with all kinds of momentum after the Gamecocks had an 18-point lead, and now the Huskies have dwindled it down to 8 points after a really troublesome second quarter on both ends of the floor for South Carolina. Let's see if they can find a way to get that rhythm back that they had in the first quarter to help them build that big lead. Led by as many as 18 early in the second quarter before the Huskies started to make their run. Paige Becker's a big part of that. 9 points all in the second quarter for Connecticut. Going to have to pick things up defensively. And also the Gamecocks have gotten hurt in transition. Connecticut done a good job of running the floor here. Gamecocks in their home white uniforms. Connecticut in their road blues. Gamecocks will have the original starting five on the floor with Destiny Henderson, Zia Cook, Bree Beal, Victoria Saxton, and Aaliyah Boston. Got to get Boston involved. She's just 2 for 6 from the floor. She missed a couple of contested shots, but makeable shots for her. 5 points, 5 rebounds. Obviously, you want to get those high percentage shots inside. And we'll see if the Gamecocks can find a way. They'll swap ends of the floor. It'll be Connecticut ball moving left to right to start the third quarter. And they'll bring it in at midcourt. Fudd will trigger it in. And we're set. 20 minutes of basketball to decide who's the national champion here in 2022. We're underway. Beckers gets it across quickly to Edwards, right wing, guarded by Saxton in the man-to-man. Up top to Nelson Adota, guarded by Boston, dribbling to her right. Hands it off to Fudd. Fudd puts it on the floor, kicks it out up top to Edwards. Shot clock halfway down. Edwards, one dribble, passes left. Around a screen comes Williams, drives into the lane, steps back into a 10-footer, missed it. Rebound, Beal saves it from going out of bounds. Oh, she said she was stepping on the baseline out of bounds. Tough break there. Good hustle play by Beal, but apparently her foot was on the baseline. So you give it back to the Huskies. Beckers will bring it in baseline right side for Connecticut. Gets it into Fudd, wide open in the corner for three. She missed it. Rebound lost out of bounds. Boy, you don't want to leave Fudd that wide open. A 43% three-point shooter, and she couldn't bury that one from the corner. Her first attempt of the game. Gamecocks have it for the first time here in the second half, leading by 8. Henderson slowly across the timeline. Need a good possession here to try to get some momentum. Henderson dribbling to her right. Drag dribble to the right wing. Back up top to Saxton. Boston fighting for position down low, but can't seem to get free. Shot clock down to 12 for Zia left wing to Boston on the left baseline. Shot clock under 10, trying to back her way in on Nelson Adota. Muscles her way up and in. That's a good start. Back to a 10-point lead as Leah Boston with 7 points. She'll start the scoring here in the second half with a minute gone by. They left her one-on-one, didn't leave her any help, and a little hook there by Boston. Gets the bucket. Here's Fudd up top for the Huskies. Passes right to Nelson Adota. Guarded by Boston. Shot clock halfway down. They feed it inside. It's knocked out of bounds by Saxton. Good defensive play as they were looking for Aaliyah Edwards on the low block. Beckers will bring it in baseline right side. Watch the give and go here. Delivers up top to Nelson Adota. Now left of the free throw line is Edwards. To Beckers at the free throw line. Shot clock under 10. Guarded by Henderson. Comes off the screen to her left. Back up top, Edwards. 3 seconds to shoot it. Trying to drive. Loses the handle. Ball knocked out of her hands. It'll be a shot clock violation. Good defense there by Victoria Saxton. Knocking that ball loose momentarily from Edwards. Helped create the shot clock violation before she could pull up. Gamecocks have it leading by 10 here. 8.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Henderson across the timeline, dribbling to her right. Guarded by Williams in the man-to-man. Needs help as she picks up the dribble. Gets it to Boston deep on the right wing. Gives it back to Henderson, cutting across the baseline, and then she lost it out of bounds. One of the Huskies poked it out of her hands, then off the knee of Henderson. And it'll be Connecticut basketball off the turnover. Just the fourth turnover of the game by the Gamecocks today. You hate to give Connecticut any opportunities. 10-point lead. They've got a wet spot somewhere in the middle of the floor. They need to get a rag out there. I'm not sure where the kids are with the broom that they usually have, or the mop, and instead Craig Oates, the South Carolina athletic trainer, will get out there. Not sure what spilled out there. It was just a towel sitting in the middle of the floor. Didn't see anyone go down over there. Maybe it's a little spot of blood. It looks like he's got some spray he's going to spray in the floor, so somebody must have had an open cut, and that's what Craig Oates is going to mop up for the folks here. 37-27, Gamecocks in front with 8:15 to play in the third quarter. It'll be Connecticut basketball off the turnover there. Good crowd here for the Gamecock contingent, but a mostly partisan Connecticut cheering crowd. A lot of folks from both schools and fan bases have traveled, but again with Paige Beckers, the Connecticut star hailing from Hopkins, Minnesota, which is about just a few minutes here, just a few miles from Minneapolis. A lot of folks cheering for the hometown girl. So the Connecticut basketball moving left to right. Gamecocks will settle back into their defense and pick up man-to-man as Beckers will bring it up. Gamecocks lead is 10. Beckers 9 points all in the second quarter. She'll get it across the timeline right side. Henderson picks her up. Passes left to Williams. To Edwards now. Left of the lane. Inside the arc. Hands it off to Fudd. Fudd around the screen. Trying to drive. Up top to Nelson Adota. Shot clock at 13. Nelson Adota hands it off to Williams. Stop and go dribble working on Beal. Passes left to Edwards. Shot clock at 6. Looking for Beckers. Gets it to her. Beckers dribbling left. Shot clock at 3. Drives inside the lane. Pulls up at the foul line. Left it short. Rebound caroms out to Zia Cook, and the Gamecocks have it. Zia leading a 2-on-1. Will take it herself. Shot blocked by Beckers. What a play. Saved from going out of bounds by Henderson, and the Gamecocks have it. But that is a heck of a defensive play there by Beckers to block the shot of Zia Cook. Gamecocks have it leading by 10. Henderson looking right. Dribbling right. Shot clock at 13. To Beal on the low block. Guarded by Fudd. Gets it to Zia. She loses the handle. Recovers. Tries to drive. Spins. Shoots. Doesn't score, but she's fouled and will go to the line. First foul on the Huskies this quarter. They'll put that on Kristen Williams. Williams collects her first. Zia will go to the line. 8 first-half points for Zia Cook. This her first visit to the free throw line. The junior from Toledo, Ohio. Will miss the first one. Gamecocks was 2 out of 5 from the line tonight. And you hate to see that in a game of this magnitude. Zia normally good at 71%. Hits 1 out of 2 here, and it's an 11-point lead at 38-27. 7:17 to play in the third quarter. Huskies with the basketball. Williams across the timeline, picked up by Beal. Passes left to Edwards, guarded by Saxton. Gamecocks staying in the man-to-man. Passes right. Williams got a good look at a 3 from the right wing. No good. Boston pulls down the rebound in between two Huskies. And the Gamecocks have it. Outlet to Zia. Zia across the timeline. Drives inside the lane left side. Needs some help and going to get an offensive foul on the Gamecocks. I believe they're going to get that on Victoria Saxton trying to clear out for Zia on the dribble drive. Offensive foul and a turnover. First foul on Saxton. First on the Gamecocks. That's a tough call there. The two got mixed up. Saxton was backing up. Edwards tried to play through her to get to the ball handler. And they're going to get Saxton for the offensive foul. 38-27 Gamecocks. Huskies with the basketball. Beckers across the timeline. Between the rings it comes to Williams. Off a screen to her right, trying to drive. On the right wing. Up top to Edwards. Shot clock at 15. Saxton picks her up. Looking for a cutter. Hands it off to Fudd. Pulls up from 18. It's blocked. Rebound by Boston underneath the basket, and the Gamecocks have it. Outlet to Henderson. Henderson driving into the lane. She'll wait for the numbers. Got to get Boston inside, see if we can get her some more easy looks. Boston, top of the circle, passes right to Henny. Henny inside to Boston, fighting through a double team. Missed it, but she's fouled and will go to the line. See if we can get some more points here. Boston with 7.7 rebounds. It's been a struggle for her. She's missed some of her usual makeable shots, even the contested ones. Just 1 out of 2 from the line tonight. Gamecocks was 3 out of 6 as a team. Boston's first free throw is good, makes it 39-27. She had that huge game in the semifinal Friday night against Louisville. 23 points and 18 rebounds for her 29th double-double of the year. Second free throw, missed it short. Saxton tips the rebound to herself, and the Gamecocks have it. Henderson tries to drive the baseline, reverse layup, no good, but she's fouled and will go to the line. And that's 3 fouls on the Huskies here. Got to start making these free throws, however. Gamecocks just 4 out of 7. The good news is they got the offensive board. Give them another opportunity. Nika Muell in for the Huskies, the Croatian native. Will pick up Williams. And it'll be Destiny Henderson at the line for the first time. Leads the Gamecocks with 11 points. Letitia Ami here in. Victoria Saxton out for the Gamecocks. And Henny at the line for a pair. Henny hits the first one to make it 40-27. Henny 11 points in the win over Louisville the other night. Has a dozen here tonight. Second free throw, good. She hits both of them. 14-point lead at 41-27 with 6:13 play in the third quarter. Gamecocks showing some trapping in the backcourt here, but Muell will get it across. Now the ball is tipped, but the Huskies recover. Muell started by Zia Cook up top between the rings, dribbling to her right. Passes right to Edwards. Edwards with the knee here, playing about 5 feet off her, not expecting her to shoot from distance. Up top to Fudd. Back to Nelson Adota, top of the arc. Shot clock at 10. Now Beckers drives inside the foul line, kicks it out to Fudd left side. Shot clock at 5. Ball fumbled around, stolen away. Ball knocked loose on the floor. Henderson had it. Now it's going to be stripped loose. Beal saves it, and the Gamecocks have it. Boy, usually they have quick whistles when the ball is tied up. But they're letting them play a little bit here. Gamecocks with the basketball, leading 41-27, 5.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Destiny Henderson with 12 to shoot it on the left wing. Comes back to her right, off a screen from Boston. Shot clock at 6. To Zia up top. Zia will drive in the lane. Floats it up high off the glass and in. Through a sea of arms, and the Gamecocks lead 43-27. Zia Cook with 11 points. Here's Beckers the other way. Her baseline runner is good as the Gamecocks didn't get back defensively. And she made a nice move to make it 43-29. Midway through the third quarter, 14-point lead for the Gamecocks. You hate to see the Gamecocks give up points that quickly after you work so hard for a bucket. Here's Beal right side. Looking inside, goes up top to Boston. She'll lob it down low for L.A. and lost it out of bounds. Tried to throw it high to L.A., but she couldn't handle the pass. Husky ball when we come back. 4:47 to play in the third quarter. Gamecocks lead Connecticut 43-29. We'll step aside. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. And we're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. Since 2015, for Connecticut, they reached the Final Four for the 14th straight year and their 22nd Final Four overall. This is their 12th time in the national championship game for Connecticut. Second time for the Gamecocks. Asia Wilson in attendance here, the former Gamecock great. You all know who she is. She's here. Alshon Jeffries here, the former Gamecock football great. Coach Shane Beamer is here, the Gamecock football coach. The Connecticut ball as play resumes. Gamecocks have on the floor Zia Cook, Destiny Henderson, Bree Beal, Letitia and me here, and Aaliyah Boston. It'll be Connecticut ball. We'll have to go the length of the floor. Gamecocks lining up like they're going to provide some pressure in the backcourt. And we're underway. Ball tipped out of bounds right away by Letitia and me here. Now they'll let Beckers trigger it in. Beckers triggers it into Nelson Adota. On the far sideline to Westbrook. Westbrook playing traffic cop. Has the ball knocked out of her hand. Stolen by Destiny Henderson. They were looking for Nelson Adota. And Destiny Henderson climbed the ladder in front of the 6'5 post player and took it away. Gamecocks have it on the 12th turnover by Connecticut tonight. Leading by 14. Up top, Zia Cook. Bounce pass to Boston. Outside of the lane, left side. Trying to back her way in against Nelson Adota. Spins to her left, back to her right. Ball stripped out of her hands. Beckers comes out of there with it. Boston thought she got poked in the eye. Here comes Muller in transition for the Huskies. Feeds it up top as they couldn't get a shot into the basket. And the Gamecocks take it, and they give it away as well. Nelson Adota, left side, looking to hand it off. Feeds it inside instead to Westbrook. Turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound Boston, and the Gamecocks have it. Leading by 14, under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Henderson across the timeline, lifts that left side, looks to Coach Staley for the play. Henderson hands it off to Zia left wing. She'll dribble back up top around a double screen. Pulls up from 18. Rolls off the rim. No good. Fight for the rebound. It's loose on the floor. And they're going to get a foul in the Gamecocks. Oh, that's a tough foul on Bree Beal. Her second. And the team's second. And the Gamecocks come up empty there. Trying to extend this lead, but haven't been able to do anything with it the last three possessions. Carolina's in front, 43-29. 3:40 to play in the third. Beckers playing catch in the backcourt with Westbrook. Gamecocks showing some pressure. Beckers will get it across to Muell along the far sideline. Muell between the rings to Beckers, started by L.A. Passes right to Edwards. Back up top, Nelson Adota. Now Nika Muell driving into the lane. Spins to her left. Cut off. Got away with the travel. Kicks it back out to Westbrook. Good look at a three. Can't knock it down. Destiny Henderson skies for the rebound. Oh, and a late whistle and a foul on the Gamecocks. My goodness. That's going to be three on Bree Beal, and Dawn Staley is furious. That was a very late whistle. It was well after the shot, well after the rebound. That's three on Bree Beal, the Gamecocks' top defender. Now the Huskies have it. 3:12 to play in the third. Here's Nika Muell, and yeah, she walked with it. Coach Staley was about to come out of her jacket, but they didn't call that. We'll get Breezy Hall into the contest to pick up Bree Beal. The freshman from Dayton, Ohio, will pick up Beal with those three fouls. Carolina ball facing pressure in the backcourt now. Henderson looking to bring it up, trying to stay out of a trap. Gets it to Zia along the far sideline. Zia can get it across herself. 3 minutes to play in the third. It's a 14-point lead. Gamecocks haven't scored in over 2 minutes. And they throw it away. My goodness. Letitia and me here saw Victoria Saxton get up off the bench to report to the scorer's table, and she thought Saxton was on the floor, and L.A. threw it to her. Just a careless mistake there by L.A., and that's 4 turnovers in the last 2.5 minutes by the Gamecocks, and that was a doozy. Back to Connecticut. Gamecocks lead is 14. We've had plenty of opportunities to pull away, but just can't score. Here's Beckers around a screen to her left. Henderson picks her up. Tries to drive inside the lane. Bounce pass to Edwards, and she'll get a layup. And it's 43-31. The lead down to 12. Gamecocks really need a basket here. Playing catch in the backcourt. Henderson will get it across. Here's Breezy Hall, left corner. Now back to Henny. Got to find a way to get Boston. She's got it up at the top of the circle, but not where we want her. Boston hands it off to Zia. Shot clock at 13. Zia will drive. Kick it out to Breezy. Near corner three. Ball is off the mark. Rebound to Beckers on the other side. And the Gamecocks, I think, getting too happy with those outside shots. They got to get Boston involved somehow. Ducharme splits a couple of defenders. Swatted away by Boston to prevent the layup. It'll remain with the Huskies. Need a stop here. Gamecocks haven't scored in over 3 minutes. And again, not getting Boston touches where she needs to touch it. They feed it left corner to Beckers. Beckers guarded by Hall, gets a screen from Edwards, comes around it to the free throw line, passes right corner to Ducharme, quick trigger on a three, and she buries it, and just like that, the lead to single digits at 43-34. It's a 7-0 run by the Huskies. Gamecocks need an answer. 1:50 to play in the third quarter. Gamecocks built the lead back up to 14, now it's down to 7. Henny driving in the lane. Needs some help. To Zia, right corner. She's going to try a three, that's nowhere near. Rebound is going to be kicked around. And the Huskies come out of there with it. They've got a 3-on-2 the other way. Nika Muell feeds a wide-open Westbrook for three from the left wing, and she buries it. It's a 10-0 run. The wheels have come off for the Gamecocks. It's 43-37. Gamecocks lead is down to 6, and Coach Staley's going to finally burn a timeout with 1:18 to play. Crowd on their feet here for the Huskies. 10-0 run by Connecticut. They've seized the momentum after the Gamecocks look to be pulling away once again. We'll step aside as well. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. We're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. Gear and slow down this momentum. Largest lead was 18 in the first half. Had a 16-point lead 4 minutes ago. It's down to 6. On the floor for the Gamecocks, Saxton, Henderson, Boston, Cardoso checked in, along with Breezy Hall. So a tall lineup out there. Gamecocks got to get a bucket here. And this partisan, mostly Connecticut fan crowd is making a lot of noise. Cardoso will trigger it in front of the Carolina bench down below us. Looking to get it in and going to have a foul before we can trigger it in. This will be on the Huskies. As they were making sure Boston couldn't touch it, Aaliyah Edwards is going to be whistled for the foul. That's her second. And the fourth team foul, so the last to give before the bonus with 1:18 to play. So now the Gamecocks will bring it in baseline left side. Boston to trigger it in. Gets it into Henny in the corner. Henny thinks about it. Spots up for three. No good. Fight for the rebound. Saxton had it. Fell to the floor. It's going to be tied up. Oh, they're going to call Saxton for a travel as she was knocked to the floor. They have been very slow to call the tie-ups here tonight. Normally it's a very quick whistle. And again, I'm not sure why the Gamecocks are settling for so many perimeter shots here and not trying to work the ball to Boston. You've got three bigs in the game right now with Boston and Cardoso and Saxton, and for some reason the Gamecocks are taking perimeter shots. Becker's across the timeline. 6-point lead for the Gamecocks with a minute to play in the third. Up top it comes to Westbrook, guarded by Saxton. Backdoor cut by Beckers. Ball knocked loose. Henderson comes out of there with it on the steal, and then she's knocked to the floor. Foul called on the Huskies will send Henderson to the line, as that's the 15th foul with 53 seconds to play in the third quarter. Gamecocks haven't scored in 4.5 minutes. Now they'll have to do it from the foul line. Let's see if Henderson can get some momentum here for Carolina. Again, the shot selection, very questionable for the Gamecocks, especially when you have three bigs on the floor. Now Saxton out, Lily Grisette checks in for Carolina. And it'll be Henny at the line, leading the Gamecocks with 13 points. Kristen Williams back in for Connecticut. She'll pick up Becker. 53.3 seconds to play in the third quarter. South Carolina's lead is 43-37. Henny at the line. And she will miss the first one. Gamecocks to 6 out of 11 from the foul line. Wheels have really come off for the Gamecocks here in this latter part of the third quarter. Second free throw. Got it, and it's 44-37. Gamecocks lead is 7 with 53 seconds to play. And Westbrook will bring it up on Lily Grisette for the Huskies. Gamecocks really need a stop here. That ended that 10-0 run. Got a lot of momentum for the Huskies. Muell up top. Feeds it up top to Ducharme. Started by Boston. Now the handoff right side. Westbrook dribbling back to her left. She'll step into an 18-footer. No good. Boston snags the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. Henderson quickly across the timeline. He'll drive in the lane. Defender backs off, and Henderson lays it up and in. It's 46-37. Henderson took it to the rack, and the defender with an awful flop. Not even near Henderson. Ducharme drives the baseline, goes all the way under the basket. To Muell up top, 12 seconds to play. Left side to Westbrook. Gamecocks lead is 9 with 9 seconds to play in the third. Three-pointer by Westbrook left side, no good. Rebound Breezy. Breezy across the timeline, half-court shot, won't go down, and that's how the third quarter will end. Gamecocks will settle for a 9-point lead as we head to the final frame here in Minneapolis. Gamecocks leading Connecticut 46-37. We'll take a timeout and come back with the final stanza. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. And we're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. taken 7 shots, has only hit 3 of them. We've got to find a way to get her some opportunities to do what she's done all year. Gamecocks, on some of those perimeter shots, have been early in the shot clock, and that's why I question sometimes the selection, even though they were open. That may have been by design, I don't know, but it just seemed like if it was early in the shot clock, you might want to work harder for a higher percentage shot. But what do I know? We'll see what happens. Let's see if the Gamecocks can find a way to seize the momentum here in the fourth quarter. They lead it by 9. Looking for their second ever national championship and first since 2017. Connecticut looking for their 12th championship and first since 2016. Gamecocks in the home whites, Connecticut in the road blues. Gamecocks will start the fourth quarter with Aaliyah Boston, Bree Beal, Destiny Henderson, Breezy Hall, and Camila Cardoso. So different lineup there. It'll be South Carolina ball to start the fourth quarter, moving right to left. Got a couple of bigs in there. Let's see if the Gamecocks can find a way to take advantage. Boston will be the trigger woman at midcourt. And we're underway in the fourth quarter. Henderson will bring it across, guarded by Williams in the man-to-man. Passes right to Beal, gets it back to Henderson. Down low to Boston on the right baseline. Boston back up top to Breezy. Breezy right side to Henny. Shot clock halfway down. Henny dribbles down to the right corner. Boston trying to post up. Henny dribbles into a double team. Work it around up top to Breezy. She'll drive the lane. Going to kick it out to Boston. Oh, well, they're going to get Breezy for a travel. Not the way you wanted to start, and the turnovers starting to stack up for the Gamecocks. That's a dozen turnovers now. They'd only turned it over, I believe, a couple of times in that first half. But in the second half, not doing the little things. Husky ball. Gamecocks applying pressure in the backcourt. They'll get it into Beckers. Lead is 9, but Connecticut with the basketball. Beckers will get it across, picked up by Henderson. Passes right to Williams. Williams, one dribble, up top. Edwards, straightaway look, 18-footer, knocks it down. And it's 46-39. The lead down to 7 with 9:20 to play in the contest. We were playing a little off her, daring the big girl to shoot it, and she knocked it down. Here's Bree Beal, left wing. Boston trying to get free in the paint, but we can't get it to her. They've got 2 blue jerseys around her now. Beal gets it to Boston on the low block. Spins. 2 players on her. She misses in traffic. Rebound Connecticut. Well, right idea, just couldn't finish. She seemed to fade away a little bit instead of going up strong. Connecticut with the basketball. Just a 7-point lead, however, for the Gamecocks. Here's Williams. Driving right side. Cut off. Back up top. Driving is Nelson Adota. Cut off by Cardoso. Hands it off to Beckers. Beckers will drive. The baseline opens for. Delivers up top to Edwards. She'll drive. Pull up from 12 feet. Missed it short. Boston with the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. 8:40 to play in the game. Carolina leads 46-39. Gamecocks need a bucket in a big way here. Boston with 10 rebounds to go along with 8 points, but it has been a tough struggle for her tonight on 3 of 8 shooting. 15 to shoot it. Henny will drive into the lane. Puts it off the glass and in over the big girl, and it's 48-39. Destiny Henderson with 18 points. Boy, an ill-advised shot with Edwards at 6'3", guarding Henderson at 5'7", but it worked out. Here's Ducharme, drive, shot blocked at the foul line by Boston. Outlet to Henny. Henny running the floor. One girl to beat, and she will lay it up and in the Gamecocks lead 50-39. Destiny Henderson with 20 points. Boston started it with the block. 7:54 to play, and Geno Auriemma is going to burn a timeout for the Huskies. The Gamecocks on a little run here. Back to a double-digit lead at 50-39. We'll step aside as well. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. We're back in a moment for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. Gamecocks in the home white uniforms. Connecticut in the road blue. In this big clash. Gamecocks #1 in the nation all season long. The Huskies ranked 5th nationally coming in. Great crowd as you expect here at the national championship. Target Center is sold out here. On the floor for the Gamecocks as play resumes. Bree Beal, Destiny Henderson, Zia Cook, Victoria Saxton, and Aaliyah Boston. We're going to be Connecticut ball as play resumes. Edwards will trigger it in for the Huskies in front of their own bench. Down to our right. Gets it in, and we're underway. Between the wings, Westbrook, guarded by Beal in the man-to-man. Gets a screen from Ducharme, goes the other way, dribbling to her right. Zips it across to Beckers in the far corner. Now left wing to Edwards. Edwards hands it back off to Westbrook. Westbrook trying to drive, cut off on the switch. Gets it back to Edwards, shot clock under 10. Now Beckers dribbling right, knifing her way in. Pulls up from 10 feet, back rimmed it no good. Bree Beal, now Boston rips the rebound away, and the Gamecocks have it. Boston ripped it away from Beal. Outlet to Henderson. Gamecocks have it, leading by 11 with 7:24 to play. Run clock, run. Henderson dribbling right, trying to stay out of a double team. With Beckers now foot all over her. Entry pass to Beal, and she's fouled by Edwards. Edwards is going to collect her third foul. Non-shooting. First team foul in Connecticut this quarter, so Carolina will bring it in to the right of the basket. Destiny Henderson to do the honors. Beckers in front of her doing jumping jacks. Gets it into Boston on the right wing. If they clear out through Boston. She's got it on the floor, trying to back her way in. Now the double team comes. Needs help as she picked up the dribble. Up top to Henny. Henny, left side Beal. Open look at a three. In and out, no good. But Saxton with the rebound. Her follow-up shot no good, but she's fouled and will go to the line. Well, Beal not known as a three-point shooter. They left her wide open. She's only 25%, but Saxton in position to get the rebound, and she was fouled on the way up and will go to the line. Gamecocks have not shot free throws well tonight, just 7 out of 12 for 58%. And Saxton has struggled from the line this year at 64%. And she hits the first one to make it 51-39. 6:58 to play in the game. Saxton with 3 points. And the senior hits both free throws. 52-39, Gamecocks in front. A little 6-0 run here by the Gamecocks. Here come the Huskies. Run clock, run. Westbrook across the timeline. Works it left side to Beckers. Henderson on the man-to-man coverage. Back up top to Edwards. Started by Boston. Now Ducharme driving into the paint. Little scoop shot is up, no good, but a foul is going to put her at the line. Boy, that was a weak call. Destiny Henderson called for her first. Must have got a piece of the body going up because it didn't look like she got much of her, but the official a lot closer than I was. Coach Staley, I think, asking a similar question. And Ducharme will be at the free throw line. Second team All-Big East selection and named to the All-Freshman team this year. Misses the first free throw. A 79% free throw shooter is the rookie from Milton, Massachusetts. A McDonald's High School All-American. Second free throw. No good. Missed them both. Boston with the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. Leading 52-39 with 6:40 to play in the game. Destiny Henderson across the timeline. Gamecocks will settle into the half court. Get it to Boston out of the paint, top of the circle. Got to find a way to get her some more shots. Hands it off to Henny up top. Shot clock at 12. Comes around a screen to her left against the big girl. Pulls up from the baseline. No good. Rebound caroms out the foot, and the Huskies have it. Again, unable to get the ball inside. Here come the Huskies. Westbrook driving the paint. Hands it off. Ducharme wide open, and she'll get a layup. And that'll snap that 6-0 run to make it 52-41. Huskies doing a better job of running the floor tonight. And South Carolina at times struggling to get back. 6 minutes to play. Gamecocks lead is 11. Here's Henderson up top. Got to find a way to get some high percentage shots. Shot clock already halfway down. Henderson dribbling right wing. Gets it to Boston on the right baseline. Shot clock at 10. Comes off the screen from Saxton. Spins to her right. Puts it up, no good, but a late whistle and a foul. That'll work against the Huskies. Boston wasn't really squared up when she took that shot. She'd spun one way, then the other, and couldn't get her body squared to the basket, but got the foul. Third foul on the Huskies. And it'll be Boston at the line for a pair. She's only 2 out of 4 from the line tonight, however. Foul's on Ducharme. That's her third. And Boston misses the first one. Boston, normally an outstanding free throw shooter at 78%, but 2 for 5 tonight. Goodness gracious. Not a good time to have a bad night at the foul line. Second free throw. Got it. And it's 53-41. Gamecocks lead with 5:45 to play. Here come the Huskies. Ducharme across the time. No, just shy of the timeline. Gets it across to Westbrook. Westbrook trying to drive right side. Shot blocked by Boston. Zia Cook comes out of there with it. Great defense there by Aaliyah Boston. Ducharme just dribbled right into the teeth of the Gamecock defense. and it didn't work out so well. Gamecocks have the ball in a 12-point lead. Henderson dribbling left, hands it off to Zaya Cook. To the top of the circle is Zaya, 12 to shoot it. Henny left wing, doesn't pull the trigger on the three. Drives the baseline, kick it out to Beal right wing. She'll try a three, no good. Rebound to Beckers, not the person we want shooting a three, although she was wide open. Here come the Huskies. Gamecocks lead is 12. They feed it inside. We try to strip the ball away. Held ball. No, they're going to call a foul. Oh, goodness. One official called held ball. The other called a foul. And that'll go back to Connecticut. Goodness gracious. That's a tough break for South Carolina. Foul, I believe, is going to go on Beal, which is 4 on her. Oh, that's a tough break. Non-shooting. They'll bring it in baseline left side. Gamecocks lead is 12. We want to get Lily Grisette into the game. She'll pick up Beal with that 4th foul. They've been very slow to call held balls tonight. Normally that's a quick whistle. Beckers to bring it in. And going to be an offensive foul on the Huskies. Trying to set a screen. Saxton was blasted to the floor, and the Gamecocks will have it on the turnover. 4th foul on Ducharme, and the Gamecocks will have it. 5:03 to play in the national championship. 12-point lead for the Gamecocks. Inbound to Zaya. Zaya in the backcourt. Got to get it across, and she will hand it off to Henny, who gets it across. Would love to see some higher percentage shots here. Henny to Boston. Top of the circle. Boston, one-on-one with Edwards. Hands it off to Henny. Henny thinks about it, takes the 18-footer. Got it! Destiny Henderson makes it 55-41. She's got 22 points. The Gamecocks lead with 4:38 to play by 14. Here's Spud. Comes off the screen to her left. Cut off at the foul line. Needs some help. Looking for a cutter. Gets it on the back door. Back in the corner goes to Ducharme for 3. Rolls off the rim, no good. Boston with the rebound, and the Gamecocks have it. Outlet to Henny. Henny driving against Beckers in the lane. Puts it up and in, and the Gamecocks lead 57-41, matching their largest lead of the half with 4:14 to play. Destiny Henderson, a new career high, 24 points in the national championship game, and then a three-pointer by Fudd from the corner. Cuts into that drama, makes it 57-44 as Fudd gets a long one to drop. The outstanding freshman makes it 57-44 with 4 minutes to play. That quiets the crowd for the moment. The lead down to 13 after it was 16 a moment ago. Up top to Boston. To Henny now, top of the circle. Henny driving, back out to Boston. She'll put it on the floor. Spinning, kicks it out to Henny. Corner 3 ball, no good. Rebound Huskies. Again, Henny's had the hot hand, but may want a higher quality shot than that. 3.5 minutes to play. Gamecocks lead is 13. Here's Beckers coming off the screen to her right. Cut off by Boston in the lane. Needs help. Gets it back up top. Shot clock halfway down. Beckers wide open for 3 right wing, and she buries it. How do you lose Paige Beckers? And just like that, the lead down to 10 at 57-47. Back-to-back threes makes it a ball game with 3:18 to play. I don't know how you lose the All-American Paige Beckers and leave her wide open for 3, but she just made this a game again. And a timeout on the floor, so we'll step aside as well. 57-47, Gamecocks lead. Back in a moment. No, wait, we'll keep it right here. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. My goodness. Gamecocks looked like they were on their way. Built a 16-point lead with 4:14 to play. But in less than a minute, back-to-back 3-pointers by the Huskies have made it a 10-point game. Gamecocks have got to find a way. Beckers now with 14 points. And somehow the Gamecocks lost her in transition there on defense and left her wide open. Destiny Henderson, a career-high 24 points. She's had the hot hand, but still hoping Gamecocks can find a way to get some higher quality shots. They have taken a lot of shots from outside early in the shot clock. Like to see if the Gamecocks can get it inside more. It has been a struggle. UConn's done a good job of denying entry passes to Boston. He has just 9 points and 14 rebounds, however. It'll be Carolina ball. They'll have to go the length of the floor. Lily Grisette checked in during the timeout, joining Saxton, Cook, Henderson, and Boston. Facing full court pressure here. Henny will trigger it in. They won't guard Henderson. Triggered into Boston, and Boston beats Muller. Will get it across the timeline herself. Trying to stay out of a double team trap. Gives it off to Henderson. Henderson works it right side to Zaya. Zaya guarded closely by Williams. Now Boston top of the circle. Boston, Gamecocks working some clock here. Hands it off to Henny. Trying to rip through a couple of defenders, and there's a foul call. Connecticut tried to trap on the ball and tie it up, but Olivia Nelson-Adota is going to be called for the foul instead. That's 3 on her. 5 team fouls will send the Gamecocks to the line. And for the Huskies, maybe a good strategy as the Gamecocks have not hit free throws well tonight. Just 10 out of 16 for 62.5%. 2:59 to play in this one. Henny at the line. Makes the first one, got all kinds of iron, and it fell through the hole. She continues to add to her career high, 25 points here in the national championship game for the senior. Second free throw. Yes, ma'am. And the Gamecocks lead by a dozen. 59-47. Under 3 minutes to play. Gamecocks got to play good defense here. Keep the clock moving. Muell across the timeline, guarded by Beal, who's in there with 4 fouls. Back up top it comes to Williams. Whistle away from the ball. Going to be a foul on the Gamecocks. It'll be the 3rd team foul. I believe they put that one on Boston. That's 2 on her. Do not want to allow the Huskies to get to the free throw line and score with the clock stop. Beckers will bring it in, baseline right side. Gets it in, gets it back in the corner. Good look at a 3, missed it short. Rebound, Karam's out to the Gamecocks and a foul on the Huskies. Saxton was in position and she was blasted from behind. And they'll send the Gamecocks to the free throw line. 2:43 to play. Foul is on Williams. Kristen Williams picks up her 3rd. And we'll send Victoria Saxton to the line, who's got 4 points tonight. The senior has struggled from the line at 64%. Gamecocks want to go to their bench, too. They'll do some offense-defense switching as Laylee Grisette and Breezy Hall check in, along with Letitia Amee here, taking Beal out because of the 4 fouls. Zia Cook as well, and Destiny Henderson out. So an interesting lineup out there with Amee here, Lily, Breezy, Boston, and Saxton. And Saxton at the line here. She will make the first free throw. It's 60-47. One more time for B, the senior captain. 5 points for her tonight. Missed the second one. Muell with the rebound, and then Saxton tried to tie it up, but they're going to get her for a foul. Are you kidding me? 4th team foul. My goodness. Saxton just stuck a hand in there to tie it up, and they called her for a foul. Looks like a good defensive play, but obviously not. Non-shooting. Gamecocks lead is 13 with 2:41 to play. Gamecocks showing some pressure in the backcourt. Becker's looking to bring it up. Gets it off to Ducharme. She'll get it across. Gamecocks trying to trap her. Got away with a walk. Gets it back to Becker's right wing. Ball knocked out of her hands and a foul on Saxton, and that's not what you... No, went out of bounds on Saxton. Okay, Saxton poked it free. You don't want to foul here and put them at the line and with an opportunity to score with the clock stop. Ducharme looks to trigger it in. Goes to Becker's left side, guarded by Boston. She'll try to drive. Steps back into a 15-footer. No good. Rebound, Breezy. Oh, and she's fouled hard and goes down. And that'll send the freshman to the free throw line with 2:26 to play. Gamecocks in front 60-47. And Breezy Hall will go to the line looking for her first points in the national championship. The freshman only a 64% foul shooter. But she'll get 2 cracks at it here with 2:26 to play. Breezy Hall, the freshman from Dayton, Ohio, takes a deep breath as she accepts the basketball. First one, no good. Gamecocks 13 out of 21 from the line tonight. Not great. One more time for the freshman. Got that one to go. 61-47 with 2:26 to play. Gamecocks showing some pressure in the backcourt. They get it to Beckers, shy of the timeline. Now Ducharme will bring it across right side. Hands it off to Muell. Up top, Nelson Adota. Dribbling to her left. Hands it off to Williams. Comes off a screen. 15-footer straight away. Left it short. Rebound, Lely. And the Gamecocks have it. 2:10 to play. Carolina with the basketball and a 14-point lead here in the national championship. Gamecocks will work some clock here. Garnet and Black faithful on their feet. Up top to Saxton. And she was fouled from behind by Ducharme. And Ducharme has fouled out of the game. The freshman collects her 5th foul, going for the steal. And she will have to spend the rest of the evening on the bench. And the Gamecocks will be at the line for 2 more to try to extend this 14-point lead. Ducharme exits. Good night for her off the bench. Had 9 points. But she is fouled out. And Aaliyah Edwards back in. There's Saxton at the free throw line. 5 points, 5 rebounds for the senior. Destiny Henderson back in. Joining Lily, Saxton, Boston, and Ami here. First one from V, left it short. Under 2 minutes to play, 1:58. Gamecocks lead is 14. Saxton at the line one more time. Got the second one. 62-47 Gamecocks. Huskies with the basketball, facing pressure. Don't want to foul, though. Across the timeline with it is Williams. Drives into the lane, and she'll get a layup. Makes it 62-49. Trapping pressure in the backcourt. Henderson gets it to Boston in the midcourt. Boston to Henderson, still in the backcourt. Got to get it across. Dangerous pass, and she threw it away. Huskies have it on the turnover. Here comes Muller. 1:38 to play. Gamecocks lead 62-49. Williams works it left side to Beckers. Beckers working on a knee here. Trying to drive left side. Spins back behind the arc. Around a screen to her right. Passes right to Williams. She'll try a three. Back rimmed it, no good. Adoba goes over the back, gets the rebound. Dishes out to Williams. Her 15-footer no good. Boston had the rebound, and she's fouled. With 1:15 to play, Gamecocks will be at the line again, leading 62-49. Can they finally sew it up at the line here? It'll be Boston at the stripe. She's got 9 points and 14 rebounds. A chance for her 30th double-double of the season, and hopefully wrap this thing up for the Gamecocks. Carolina in search of its second ever national championship, looking to deny Connecticut its 12th national championship and send Connecticut to its first ever national championship loss, coming in at 11-0. The last 11 trips to the championship. Boston only 3 out of 6 from the line tonight. The 78% foul shooter just hasn't had the stroke, but she hits the first one, and she's got the double-double. 10 points, 15 rebounds for her 30th double-double of the season and 60th of her career. One more time for Boston. Got them both. 64-49, and the Gamecocks are a minute and 15 away from their second national championship. Here come the Huskies. Beckers across the timeline quickly to Edwards driving in the lane. Reverse layup, no good. Boston with another rebound. Gamecocks have it. Garnet and Black faithful on their feet. They can smell it. It's a 15-point lead with a minute to play. Destiny Henderson to Boston, top of the circle. The Huskies not fouling. Here's Henderson between the rings. South Carolina less than a minute away from another national championship. Henderson to Beal on the block. Back up top, Boston. 6 to shoot it. Boston to Henny, right wing for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound lost out of bounds to the Gamecocks with 39.3 seconds to go. Get ready, Columbia. Your Gamecocks are coming home with a national championship trophy. They're 39.3 seconds away. The lead is 15. The Gamecocks will improve to 35-2. Huskies will end at 30-6, and Coach Staley's going to clear her bench. Sanaya Fagan checks in for the first time. Olivia Thompson, Alyssa Weselick, Anaya Russell, and Destiny Littleton all make their first appearance in the national championship game as the elder players get their curtain call with 39.3 seconds to go. Russell will trigger it in to the left of the baseline. Gets it into Littleton. Here we go. Shot clock at 19 as Littleton is guarded closely by Beckers. Gamecocks will work as much clock as possible. Shot clock down to 10. Littleton dribbling right. Hands it off to Russell. 6 seconds to shoot it. Russell will drive into the lane. Puts one up and in, but they're going to call her for an offensive foul. Take the points off the board. 20.8 seconds to play. The Gamecocks are going to come home as national champions for the second time and the first time since 2017. Carolina leads at 64-49. Muell will walk it up slowly. Looks like the Huskies are just going to dribble out the clock. In a year that we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Title IX, the South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's basketball world. Dawn Staley has brought a second national championship back to South Carolina. The Gamecocks knock off Connecticut 64-49. They're national champions once again. There's the horn. The Gamecocks storm the floor. They're coming home with the trophy. Wire to wire, number 1. The Gamecocks defeat Connecticut 64-49 for their second national championship. We'll take a timeout and start our wrap-up in just a moment. You're listening to Carolina Basketball from Learfield. The confetti falling in Minneapolis. The South Carolina Gamecocks are national champions for the second time since 2017 as we start the post-game locker room report driven by Jim Hudson Automotive. Carolina defeats Connecticut 64-49. Gamecocks wire-to-wire number one, and they complete it in impressive fashion. They never trailed in the national championship game. Let's run through the final numbers in the contest. We probably won't have a post-game coaches interview since we are way up in the rafters here. But Gamecocks shot just 37% from the floor, 22 out of 60, only 3 out of 16 from three-point range, 65% from the foul line, 17 out of 26. But boy, did they do a number on the board. Gamecocks out-rebounded the Huskies tonight, 49-24, and that's a huge difference. 14 turnovers for the Gamecocks, 15 for Connecticut. Connecticut shot 41% overall, 22 out of 54. They were just 4 out of 16 from the three-point range for 25%. They did not get to the foul line much, 1 out of 4 for 25%. Leading scorers first for Connecticut, Paige Beckers led them with 14 points. 8 points for Aaliyah Edwards. 9 points for Caroline Ducharme before fouling out. Avino Westbrook was 7. 4 points for Olivia Nelson-Adota. 3 for AZ Fudd. 2 apiece for Kristen Williams and Nika Mule to round out their scoring. For the Gamecocks, a career-high 26 points from Destiny Henderson leads the way. She also had 4 assists. 11 points for Aaliyah Boston to go along with 16 rebounds for her 30th double-double of the season. 11 points for Zaya Cook as well. 6 points for Victoria Saxon. 4 points for Camila Cardoso off the bench. 2 apiece for Bree Beal and Letitia Amee here. 1 point for Breezy Hall and Sanaya Rivers to round out South Carolina's scoring as the Gamecocks take home the national championship with the win over Connecticut, 64-49. We'll take another timeout. Come back with our Terminex best player of the game after this. Carolina basketball from Learfield. Welcome back. The celebration going on the court here in Minneapolis. Gamecocks dancing as they build the stage. The confetti has fallen. Gamecocks are national champions as they defeat Connecticut 64-49. They've got their T-shirts, hats, handful of confetti, and they are dancing down below us here on the floor at the Target Center. We bring you back in the post-game locker room report driven by Jim Hudson Automotive. Time for our Terminex Best Player of the Game, no doubt about it. This time, Destiny Henderson in her final game as a Gamecock. Her senior point guard had a career-high 26 points. Hit 3 3-pointers, hit 5 out of 6 free throws, had 4 assists, a couple of rebounds, and 3 steals in 35 minutes of play. Destiny Henderson, your Terminex Best Player of the Game, sponsored by Terminex, the leader in written guarantees and most respected name in termite and pest control. We'll put a bow on the season, a championship season, after one more break. South Carolina women's basketball is presented by Absolute Total Care, improving the health of our community one individual at a time. Back to wrap things up for more Gamecock basketball from Learfield. Welcome back one final time to Minneapolis. The South Carolina Gamecocks are national champions. They defeat Connecticut 64-49 here at the Target Center as we put a fantastic bow on the 2021-2022 season. The Gamecocks celebrating on the floor here at the Target Center. A heartfelt thank you to all the fans who came to Colonial Life Arena all season long. Thankful to all the fans listening all season long. Thank you to all the fans who traveled for many away games. Thank you to all the fans who came here. And a special thank you again to all those listening at home or in your car or wherever you are now. Your South Carolina Gamecocks are national champions once again. Dawn Staley has done it as they knock off Connecticut 64-49 to take home their second title. Gamecocks on the floor as they continue to set up the stage. They will receive their national championship trophy and cut down the nets. And they will arrive in Columbia sometime tomorrow afternoon. So don't go to the airport tonight. Don't go to the airport tomorrow. There will be an announcement later on Gamecocks Online where you can see the Gamecocks when they come into town tomorrow. If you would like to greet them, if you want to play hooky from work, it'll be sometime tomorrow afternoon. Check GamecocksOnline.com for that. Thank you again for all of our listeners and fans. Gamecocks are winners here tonight. Thank you to our producers all season long, Captain David Adair and Ed Burt. I'm Brad Muller saying goodnight for the last time this season from the Target Center in Minneapolis. Thanks for listening to Gamecock basketball from Learfield.
Regular season, they finished this season as they started it. Number 1 national champs, Elle Duncan anchoring a coverage. Take it away, girl.
Thank you so much, John and Nicole. There she is, Aaliyah Boston, the first person in the women's basketball history to win Naismith Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. You just heard her talk with Holly about what it looked like, the pain on her face after the heartbreak in the Final Four just a season ago against Stanford, and her redemption song tonight, Tears of Joy, the difference and the agony. South Carolina, national champions for the second time in school history. We had talked so much, Carolyn Peck and Nikki Fargas, about Geno Auriemma and his perfect 11-0 record in the national championship. But you know what? What we didn't know is that UConn tonight was going to have a date with destiny. You like that?
I did.
Okay. Let's just talk about Destiny Henderson, because we're not showing her on the screen right now. But she was an absolute revelation, almost willing this team to a win here tonight.
Destiny Henderson, 26 points. She just took over. The one thing that we talked about in the pregame show after they beat Louisville was the guards had to play well in order for South Carolina to win a national championship. We knew they were going to dominate the paint. We knew they were going to dominate the glass, but for Destiny Henderson to step up like she did, that was amazing. It was amazing to see Destiny control the entire tempo of the game. She was under control. She played with great poise, and she was able to not only facilitate for her offensively, but she was also to handle the pressure when UConn was really trying to make their run. You saw that they wanted the ball in her hands every single time because Dawn wanted to run specific play action to get specific players the basketball.
And how about Henderson on the defensive end of the floor?
Yeah.
I mean, Connecticut's success when they were able to make runs was led by Paige Beckers. And Henderson did such a great job when she would get rid of the ball, not letting her get it back. Think about the energy she was extending on the defensive end of the floor, and then able to still be as productive and as fierce and as fast as she was offensively. Incredible performance.
It's incredible as well, because again, sort of in the build-up to this, and maybe if there was one concern for a team who has dominated, right, in D1 this year, it was the guards and whether they could score, and that was a question. And we had felt maybe a little bit of that pressure had been alleviated over the last couple of rounds, where we saw how big they stepped up, not only in Louisville, but also in the Elite Eight. But were you expecting to see Destiny Henderson to have that kind of night, to see Zia Cook have that kind of night here on the Sports Night?
What I wasn't expecting was for the game to start the way it did, and for South Carolina just come out and pound and pound and pound and get offensive rebound after offensive rebound. Usually there's some nerves. The first 5 minutes of a championship game, they did not look like they had nerves at all. It looked to me like they were going to be a team who said, all right, we are going to play this way, impose our will on the game. And Connecticut took a step back from it. I mean, South Carolina came out from the jump and said, this is our championship to win.
And we know that look, basketball in general is a game of runs, and specifically, right, this matchup. We saw it back in November, CP. You called that game. You talked about what happened. UConn came out really strong, and then it's South Carolina that started turning them over. They go on that 23-5 run. They end up winning that game in a rout. But it seems as though every single time UConn would make that gap just a little bit closer, every time they'd go on a run, South Carolina had so much poise. They never panicked.
The thing about South Carolina is they peaked at the right time.
Yeah.
When they got to the Sweet 16, they had a great defensive game. Ball wasn't going in the hole. They didn't shoot it extremely well. And I remember Steffi Sorensen interviewed Dawn Staley, and Dawn said, listen, experts, you question, you see my defense, but you question my offense. She said, but in the right time, those shots are going to fall. And from that point on, from the Sweet 16 to the Elite Eight to the semifinals till tonight, Dawn Staley had a vision and knew what her team was capable of, and that they were going to do it in the right time.
And one of the reasons I think the fast start was so important, Dawn Staley was able to go to her bench a little bit earlier than she has been. And as a result, they could continue to be relentless because they never had to get tired. wave after wave of player came in, another big player, another good guard. So for the entire game, they were able to put that pressure on. Defensively, they were able to put that pressure on, attacking the offensive glass because they were fresh and had body after body, All-American after All-American who could come in and contribute.
But the pressure was not just in the half court. You saw Dawn go to her press, and to me, that is going to exhaust an offensive team a little bit more, because now you got to go 94 feet, and now you're going against trapping. And she was able to change the pace of the game by eliminating UConn to have a lot of time on the shot clock. If you look, there were times where the shot clock was going down, 10, 9, 8. And UConn offense struggled a little bit because it was rushed, because they were eating up so much time with their pressure full court. Well, the two things that you all talked about, the fatigue factor. And Dawn being able to go to her bench, the press takes a lot out of you. I did that first game in the Bahamas, and that's one of the things that Geno Auriemma has talked about in the fourth quarter. He said, we were just exhausted because South Carolina just keeps wearing on you and wearing on you and wearing on you. In the fourth quarter, they really didn't have anything left.
You see right now that the team is making their way onto the stage. Dawn Staley, they're trying to collect her. We're going to get ready for the trophy presentation. We talk about Dawn Staley and what she's been able to do, winning the national championship in 2017. Many people believe they probably would have won it in 2020. We can't play the what-if game, but of course, that tournament was canceled because of COVID. We heard some of Dawn talking about that, staff talking about. They felt like they were in control that year, and to be able to do this after dominating all year long, incredible. Now Dawn Staley becomes just the sixth coach in women's basketball history to win more than one national championship. And there they are on the stage. The fans are still here. This place is, listen, I'm going to say, I thought, and I said it in the pregame show, it's probably going to be a pro UConn crowd because of Paige Beckers and her connection to Minnesota. And honestly, based on what we saw on Friday in the semifinals, this was a very big South Carolina crowd. They are still here cheering on their Gamecocks.
And they certainly had a lot to cheer about today. They felt like this section was standing the entire second half.
All right, let's get it down to Holly Rowe right now as we get ready for the trophy presentation. Followed by that, we'll do the cutting of the nets. So we'll get it down to Holly right now on the court.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for our trophy presentation tonight.
That's my idol right there.
We are so excited to be back in person celebrating these young women who worked so hard. First and foremost, we would like to bring in Coach Dawn Staley. And Coach Staley, this felt like it was a long time coming, but what is delayed is not denied. How did your team find the patience to not quit and finally reach this summit tonight?
First, I got to give, I have to give glory to God. Glory to God. I think people don't really understand that our path was divinely ordered. And the order was for us to be national champions on this day. On this day. The fight. Our team had the fight of champions all season long. All season long. And I do have to give a real good shout out to our players who don't get in the game a whole lot. We had 16 players, probably 7 or 8 of them prepared us. They prepared us for UConn. They prepared us for Louisville. They prepared us for Creighton. And they don't get the shine, but I'm gonna give them the shine right now. So thank you all. E-O, Anaya, Lee, who we got? Sanaya, everyone, because I think a lot of times we got the National Player of the Year. We got great talent on our team, and they get overshadowed. So I just want to say thank you all. Thank you all for sharing and accepting roles that aren't favorable.
Coach, this was a good game. Several times UConn came back in, pulled within one. How did your team keep extending the lead, and making this so difficult?
UConn is not only a great team, they're a great tradition. They're a part of our women's basketball history that you really can't take that away from them. But again, today, order. It was divinely ordered for us to be champions today. We weren't going to be denied. We were going to play it every possession like it was our last possession. And I know our players are super exhausted, but they were determined to be champions today.
Second national championship for Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks, and we couldn't have done it tonight without the most outstanding player. She picked up every other award in America this week, so she might as well have this one too. Aaliyah Edwards, your 2022 most outstanding player. Aaliyah Boston, I'm sorry, Aaliyah Boston. I said Aaliyah Boston, I fixed it, come on over.
I'll take it, it's all
She'll
right.
take it, you know who I meant, I'm sorry. This has been a difficult challenge for you all year. You have had so many people double, triple teaming you all the time. How have you been able to fight through all that and show the patience that you worked on?
I mean, a lot of it just come from my teammates. They're going in positions and helping me be able to see them so I can make the right pass.
Your teammates have been there behind you all the way. They worked so hard to try to get you the ball and support you in these moments. How did you support them and lean on them tonight?
I mean, I just tried to do everything I can, especially on the defensive end, and just be there.
Your parents are here. I know your mom and dad, Al and Cleone, they've sacrificed so much. I see mom right here. Your auntie Jennaire, who helped you and raised you, you got to go live with her. What do you say to your family who has given so much for you to be in, your sister Alexis, to be in this moment?
I just want to say thank you guys for all the sacrifices that you've made and for being able to travel to Minnesota to watch me play, because now I'm a national champion.
Thank you so much, Aaliyah. Yes, please.
Hey, Candace Parker, I'd like to say hi. I love you, girl.
She's giving you the I love you sign. I see her right here. All right, so now to do the real business. Thank you, Aaliyah Boston. I'm sorry for that mistake. Forgive me, please. You know I love you, right? Okay, thank you. Now I want to introduce the president of the NCAA, Dr. Mark Emmert, our vice president of women's basketball, Lynn Holzman, and our athletic director from Duke, also the committee chair for women's basketball this year, Nina King. Please come on up and let's do the business. And now to present the championship trophy to your 2022 South Carolina Gamecocks, Mark Emmert.
First of all, I want to thank the city of Minneapolis for hosting this amazing championship. They've done an incredible job. All of the fans that have been here, especially these Gamecock fans, what an electric environment. But most importantly, congratulations to this year's national championship, the University of South Carolina Gamecocks.
Go Cox! Yeah! Go Cox, Coach. Come on, Coach.
Don't let her fall out.
Yeah, don't drop it. Don't drop it.
Okay, don't go anywhere because they were so good, we're giving them more trophies. Now to present our WBCA Coaches Trophy. This is going to be presented by Invesco QQQ. Here is the Executive Director of the WBCA, Danielle Donahue. Danielle? Wow.
It'd be like a chandelier.
Yeah, we're ready.
Chandelier.
Okay.
Wow.
Please help me in also recognizing Geno Auriemma and the UConn Huskies on a remarkable season. But tonight belongs to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Congratulations on your second national title. And it's my pleasure to award the Invesco QQQ WBCA Coaches Trophy to Coach Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks.
They don't want any part of that, and they know you've never turned it over in your life, so give that back. Well, we'd like to thank all of the fans who've come out. This was a sold-out crowd, an unbelievable environment. So many of you here. We just thank you for your support and your love of women's basketball. And ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate one more time the incredible, the incomparable 2022 national champions, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
So there it is, the trophy presentation to the national champions. They were #1 all year long, every single week, and here they are with the trophy, with the title, and very soon we'll be cutting down the nets. Let's stick it there with Dawn Staley for a second, since they were just talking about her. As our coaches here on the set, Carolyn Peck and Nikki Fargas, put into perspective, we talked a lot about what this legacy, a win like this, what would it do for Dawn Staley's legacy? She now joins just Geno Auriemma as the only coaches ever, right, to coach the Olympic team to a gold medal, and then next year take a team to the title and the national championship. We also mentioned how hard it is. You've won one, Carolyn Peck, how hard it is to win two. What do you make of that smile on Dawn Staley's face?
Well, like you said, how hard it is to win the first one, and then to go after and really live up to the expectations puts that additional pressure. But what Dawn has done is she has set a standard in Columbia, South Carolina. When you come to Columbia, South Carolina, the expectation is that you are playing for a national championship, not just to participate, not to finish in the top 4, but to win a championship. It's a mentality that she has instilled, not only in her players, but in her community. They have led the nation in attendance for now the last 8 years. Now
the fans, they're called fans.
The fans, and they are here in Minneapolis. And when you build that kind of culture, that's where kids want to come, because they want to play in front of a big crowd.
You know, I was fortunate to play for the great Pat Summitt, and obviously we won 8 titles. And it's not an easy thing to do. It really isn't. It's not easy to win 1. It's not easy to win 2. It definitely isn't easy what Geno has done in winning 11. But I will say this about Dawn Staley, having played against her in college, the teams that she coaches and have coached, they take the personality on of her.
Of course.
And you can see how she can come at them and she can challenge them, and they respond because she's been there and done it and been in their shoes, so she's able to speak to it. So when you're watching her also practice or in practice, she's out there demoing and talking them through what it's going to take to win a title, because physically she was able to win at the elite level. So to have a coach that was a player and a coach that also won an Olympian and played with you, Rebecca, I mean, this is something that's really special for her to do this at this level and this stage of her life.
That's exactly what I was going to ask, Rebecca. I mean, you played with her on the national team. How has her personality as a player informed the kind of coach she is?
Well, she was feisty. She was feisty as a player, and she kept everybody accountable, even as a teammate. And what's impressed me talking to Dawn throughout the season, then in this tournament, is it's always been about the players.
Yep.
It's always been about the players. You know, she wanted unfinished business for the players. You know, that the gods weren't smiling on them last year, and how much she hurt for Aaliyah Boston last year, and how the season ended for that team. And every player from that team returned, and that conversation continued this year about the players. Even when we heard her up on the podium, the first thing she said was thanking all of the players who don't get the shine, those who don't get all of the minutes on the court. So she keeps the attention in a lot of ways where it belongs. It could easily go to Dawn Staley and what she's built and what she's done and success she's had, and she brings it back to the players. And I think that's what the great coaches do, is they want that moment not for themselves, they want it for their teams.
I love what she said yesterday when we were here for the All Access practice and Holly was talking to her. She called herself a dream merchant. And I just thought that was really interesting. And Holly said, explain what a dream merchant is, right? And she said it's just someone who wants the best for other people, that wants to help steward them to what their dreams are. So she wants to identify what that dream looks like for her players and make sure that that's what they accomplish, whether it be personal, whether it be as a team. And she has certainly shepherded her team to now the national title. It's just really incredible to see the emotion on Aaliyah Boston. You gotta love that, Rebecca. The turn of events for Aaliyah. She said it in her post-game interview, like, I was crying, like ugly crying on TV, and it was everywhere. And now she's crying tears of joy. Just your thoughts as you watch these girls knowing their dream has been fulfilled, a dream that has been fulfilled for all of you on this stage as well.
Well, they're forever national champions.
Yeah.
They are forever national champions, and no matter what happens going down the line in the future, when they return, they will be known to their fans as national champions. And for some of the players, this could be a little bit life-changing. I mean, Destiny Henderson, assuming she does not return for another year and enters the WNBA draft as we all expect her to, what a way to go out.
Yeah.
What a way to go out, and what a way to show what kind of a leader she is and what kind of a baller she is. I mean, it's the kind of moment that very few people get to experience. It's something that stays with you forever. Forever, these women will be known as national champions.
How about this? Destiny Henderson, you talk about stepping up in big moments. The first player since the year 2000, and it could have been sooner, we just can't track before 2000. First player since the year 2000 to have a career high in a title game. Like, unbelievable when there are nerves, when there's so much at stake, when you've heard media say that your offense is a problem or how much pressure will be on you, when you have Aaliyah Boston that you're sure to show up in the biggest moment and show out that way. Just an incredible ending, to Rebecca's point, if she decides she's moving on.
Well, with Destiny Henderson, I cover the Southeastern Conference, and she did that a couple of years ago in the SEC tournament. Big moments, that's the perfect time for Destiny Henderson. You know, she never changes her expression. She is cool, calm, and collected. She can go fast, she can go slow. And so playing with that kind of poise and all, a person that has their emotions in check, when the moment gets bigger, that's when she's at her best. It looked like she was having fun.
Yeah.
She was just playing the game at such an easy and competitive pace, and she was doing it multiple ways defensively. We alluded to that, but she allowed the offense to come to her. There was nothing rushed. There was nothing that she did that was a bad shot. She was reading the defense. She was taking what they were giving her, and the shot selection for Destiny Henderson in this game, I mean, I'm giving her an A+. I've seen where guards have tried to force the action, but she definitely didn't do that tonight. And the fact that she said, you know what, on the defensive end, I'm going to turn it up there too. But that gives you confidence to do what she did on the offensive end. I also want to mention this because Dawn Staley also gives a lot of credit to her assistant coaches. And when you don't have that turnover, you know, as a former coach, you don't have that turnover in your assistants, they understand her system as well. So great job, Lisa, Fred, Jolette Law. I mean, you still have to have coaches that can also, when the players come off the bench, come out of the game and they're on the bench, who is in their ear? Who's talking to them to get them ready to go when it's their time to be subbed back in or subbed out?
And that's one of the things Destiny Henderson told us before the Final Four started. She said Coach Law is often in her ear reminding her, you're one of the best guards in the country. You're one of the best guards in the country. And certainly she helped prove that again today. And I'm looking at this box score. Aaliyah Boston with 11 points. If somebody had said to you, you know, how do you think this game's going to turn out? If Aaliyah Boston has 11 points, you wouldn't necessarily say it would be a 15-point South Carolina victory. South Carolina, the Gamecocks, certainly proved that they are a lot more than their incredibly talented player of the year.
I'm looking at the box score too. There's a lot of numbers that really jump out at me right now. I would say rebounding, right? How many times did you guys belabor the point that rebounding was going to be huge in this game? South Carolina, 49 rebounds to UConn's 24 rebounds. They got to the free throw line. If you're UConn, and when Geno Auriemma undoubtedly goes back and looks at this tape, where will he say he was dominated the most?
Oh, in the paint, offensive rebounds, because South Carolina had 21 offensive rebounds to Connecticut's 6. And so that's an area where Connecticut's got to go, okay, were we over-rotating? Do we need to box out better? Because South Carolina was just relentless, creating opportunities to get those second chance points.
You see that they are now cutting down the nets. As again, they are the national champion, South Carolina. Just soaking it all in. The fans still here in attendance at the Target Center. And again, I want to go back to UConn for a second there, Rebecca. AZ Fudd. I'm sure that he is being asked about this right now in the press conferences. I know that he alluded to the fact that she was sick, that there were some issues with that. She wasn't feeling good. We didn't see much of her. From the UConn perspective, where would you say is the most sort of glaring hole for them? And where was this game lost for them?
They just didn't have enough horses inside.
Yeah.
They just didn't have enough size. They didn't have enough horses. And nothing against Aaliyah Edwards, nothing against Olivia Nelson-Adota. There was time after time where I'm sure Coach Auriemma was saying to them, you got to box out and go get the board. That's a lot easier said than done. We saw the one replay of Camila Cardozo. When the shot went up, she was at the three-point line, and she just went and pursued the basketball. South Carolina was in pursuit mode on the offensive glass all game long. Their bigs, their guards. UConn just did not have the people to keep them off the glass. South Carolina simply the better team.
Now, we certainly knew that there were going to be some issues, especially in the post. Dorka Juhas goes down, by the way. UConn saying that Dorka has said she will come back and exercise that extra year of eligibility. Did you feel like we saw in the first quarter, Paige really was not a factor. She really asserted herself in that second quarter, bridged that gap, got UConn within 8 at the half. It seemed to me that in the third and fourth quarter, again, she sort of deferred to her teammates a little bit too much. How do you think Paige will feel about her performance today based on how assertive and aggressive she was?
I don't necessarily think she was deferring to her teammates as much as South Carolina's defense were taking her away from what she wanted to do, because all the shots that she made in the first half were tough shots. They were tough shots, and she was making something out of nothing. So, and this is a game where a lot of UConn, guards struggled. AZ Fudd was not feeling well.
Yeah.
Avina Westbrook had some moments, but had some struggles. Kristen Williams. South Carolina's defense simply was able to overpower them, overquick them, and shut them down. So I think all of the credit in the world for everything that happened in this game, offensive boards, Connecticut's inefficiency at times on offense, all due to what South Carolina was doing out there.
Well, you pointed out Destiny Henderson. Yeah, she had a great offensive night, but Destiny Henderson was on Paige Beckers. When she defended Paige Beckers was 1 for 5 from the floor. So now, okay, that's guarding Beckers. Then you have Bree Bill, who guarded Haley Van Lith against Louisville. She was on Kristen Williams today. And then Zaya Cook had the responsibility of AZ Fudd or Avina Westbrook when she came in the game. The perimeter defense and the switching, you at times have post players on guard. South Carolina's post players were able to handle the switches and really contest and make tough shots.
In the first quarter, you cannot be down 22-8. That is a tough battle for you. So what you're going to do, you're going to always feel like, I've got to do something special. I got to go on the run. The game is a game of runs, and that was a big deficit for Connecticut to come back from. Ball security. To me, you can't give a South Carolina these live ball turnovers. They were in the first quarter, when you look at this first quarter only, the rest of the quarters, okay, it was a little evenly matched as far as taking care of the basketball, doing a much better job rebounding. But in the first quarter, again, you had turnovers that led to scores. You had offensive rebounds that led to scores. You've got to control that. That is something that you, as a basketball player, yes, I'm over here dribbling right now.
Yeah, she is.
But you as a basketball player, you got to know, I can't just spot a team like South Carolina, those easy possessions.
Especially when you have a short bench. Because it takes a lot out of you to come back. And then when you don't have the bodies to go to makes it that much harder.
We also saw Avina Westbrook favoring her ankle even during the game, and when she was walking off, she was limping. It's, again, we keep looking at this box score, and UConn shot better than South Carolina, right? But it's those second chance opportunities. 22 second chance points for South Carolina to just 5 for UConn. And again, Aaliyah Boston finished the tournament averaging 16.8 points a game and over 15 rebounds per game. First player to do that in the tournament for a national champion. An incredible performance. As you see that South Carolina is cutting down the nets. The championship net is actually brought to you by Werner Ladder. The good news is we're going to be joined on set by some of the key figures from the Don Staley is supposed to join us on set. We expect to talk to Aaliyah Boston. We expect to talk to Destiny Henderson here on the stage as well. Where do we go from here? I mean, you're talking about a dynasty, or at least trying to build one. Don talked about that as well. To be like a Geno Auriemma, to build a dynasty, you have to be consistent. When you look at this South Carolina team, how poised are they to make another run at this?
I think they're certainly poised. You would imagine they would be the preseason #1 team. Hey, they're returning Aaliyah Boston as a senior. They're returning Bree Beal, Zia Cook. They've got a great crop of freshmen, the #1 recruiting class in college this season. They will be the favorite entering next year. And now they have the experience of being here and knowing how to win it all. And there's a lot to be said for that as well.
One of their top recruits didn't even play this season. Raven Johnson went down with a knee injury, so that they have her coming back as well. They've got top recruits coming in. I mean, that just feeder system of continuing to replace talent with talent. And it's not just talent on the number, like ranking-wise. The women they bring in can play. And like Destiny Henderson, when she came in and had to play behind Ty Harris, but that was a great person to learn from. Just like this class that are juniors right now, learning from a Destiny Henderson, a Victoria Saxon. Like when you can keep having those mentors ahead of you, that's how you continue to stay successful.
Yeah, but there's got to be this buy-in, right? You got to buy into your role on the team. And Dawn talked about and acknowledged those who really did that. And so great job for getting the whole team involved.
And again, making her way to our stage right now, Destiny Henderson, who was an entire vibe, movement, had an entire moment today in the national championship as South Carolina gets their second natty in program history. Dawn Staley, just the 7th D1 head coach to win multiple national championships. We're going to get her mic'd. Does she have a mic? We're going to get her mic'd up. We'll let you know.
Oh, we got to
Aaliyah Boston right now cutting down her portion of the net. And we're going to expect to talk to Aaliyah here in just a minute when she is done. But for now, let's bring in Destiny. Anything is possible. Henderson, just an outstanding performance. You are the first person since 2000 and maybe before then, Destiny, to have a career high in a title game. What got into you tonight?
I just feel like I had to be a dog offensively as well as defensively. My teammate found me open positions to shoot the ball, and I just let it fly.
Can we get her a chair?
Are you
I'm good. No,
You're good?
my momentum's still going. I'm good.
How were you able, your team, usually in a national championship game, teams have a little bit of nerves. UK guys came out from the jump and imposed your will on this game. How were you able to do that?
We knew we had to come out with fire. Early on in the season, we played them, and the game was really close. So we knew we had to hit first, and that's what we came out to do. We played with a lot of energy, a lot of momentum, and it just carried on all 4 quarters.
Destiny, how proud of you. How does it make you feel? I mean, you're a national champion, and this is the second one for Dawn Staley.
Yes. First and foremost, Dawn Staley, she deserves it. She's the best coach that ever crossed my path, and I'm so blessed to have her as a coach, and I'm going to miss her. Try not to get emotional. But just for us to be in this moment, we've been working hard since day one, and we fell short last year. We knew we had to come out with a bang this year and just get over that hump because we've been there before. So we just had to play with fire and momentum and just trusting each other, and that's what we did.
Well, you got
you got somebody behind you here.
My road dog.
Knowing that you have, and you are playing with arguably one of the best centers to play the game, you're able to go out and obviously, great job. Great job. I'm going to talk about her right now.
As you should.
All right. But when you have a player this dominant in the post game, everybody's like always saying, get a lead of the ball, get a lead of the ball. Talk about when you know it's time for destiny time, when it's time for you to take over.
I feel like she's so dominant inside. She drags so much attention inside. So it's hard for teams not to double, and especially off a shooter like me, I'm going to shoot it. And that's what I was doing tonight.
Paige Beckers, Paige Buckets in her hometown, shot 1 of 5 when you were defending her. How serious did you take that mission to shut down Paige Beckers tonight?
I knew I had a task on my hands. I knew I had to come out offensively as well as defensively. And I knew I was going to get tired, but I had to keep fighting through. Defensively, I just knew I had to use my speed and just to stay with her because I know she liked to shoot. So, and I know a lot of the assists they're looking for too. So I just had to be ready, and even if I got lost, just to stay in the play and use my speed.
I have to tell her what I said because she couldn't have heard it, and I was so proud of it. I said, UConn was undefeated in national championship, but unfortunately, they had a date with destiny. Let's go, Destiny. Right?
I like that.
Thank you. Can I get that? I'm not like you, but I can do those things.
Aaliyah, what was it like for you, especially early in the game, because you draw so much defensive attention, when you see your guards, Destiny in particular, able to hit their shots, take some of that pressure off? What was that like for you early in this one?
I mean, it was great. I mean, I was just trying to make sure I was able to make the right pass at the right time and understand when I needed to attack. But Henny scoring the ball as well as she did and hitting the outside shots, I mean, it opened up the game for us. I mean, they knew that they had to find her quickly or else she was going to let another one fly and hit it.
Aaliyah, you talked about just now at the end of the game the difference in emotions between last year and this year. What does it feel like after what you experienced in the Final Four last year, that swing of emotions that you're feeling right now?
I mean, it feels amazing, and I think part of it is just because of how my photo was used, and I don't want to get too personal, but I mean, they used a sad photo to describe March Madness when I don't think that should have been the case. I think it should have been, yes, there are emotions, but when you use a video of me crying for a long period of time, it's like, that's going to fuel my fire. I'm going to use Bree's quote, that's on her shirts, by the way, y'all, bang. And I'm going to go on with that because I use that as fire. I don't want anyone to use a video of me crying ever again as a weak point when now you have a smile.
I was going to say, fueled your fire, Naismith Player of the Year, Naismith Defensive Player of the Year, Lisa Leslie Center Award, AP Player of the Year, Final Four Most Outstanding Player, Wade Trophy winner, SEC Player of the Year, SEC Defensive Player of the Year. That's what you did this
That's
year.
all God. That's all God, and I thank him for that.
Hey, but Leanne, tell me about, okay, you had a checklist of goals of things that you wanted to accomplish. Do you remember what those were?
Honestly, my main goal coming into this season was win a national championship and be Naismith Player of the Year. And I kept that goal as kind of in the back of my head because, you know, Coach talks about don't let it be a distraction. Don't let personal goals be a distraction. And I think just our team and how many weapons that we have, it was the game just opened up and I was able to get those awards.
I'm going to ask you another question because I'm going to ask you about Henny. You've played with her for 3 years. She had to take a back seat and come off the bench, I think, her sophomore season, and then now in a starting role. How much and how proud are you of how she has grown throughout her career?
I'm so proud of Henny. I mean, she's our leader. She's our leader. I mean, she keeps us level-headed. Every time she controls the pace of the game, she's a great defender. And honestly, without her, I mean, this team would be totally different. I'm just so happy to have her.
You have the ability to shoot the three, score the basketball, block shots. What else you don't do? I thought at one point you was going to be the point guard. But you also have a partner in crime on the other side of that block in Saxton. And you two together, I can't even imagine how people can compete on the boards with you two.
I mean, it's hard because we take pride in that. I mean, we just want to rebound the ball. And even B, as a defender, I mean, we're two different defenders, and I think it just keeps people on their toes because they're not sure how to pass the ball in because you're going to get one that plays in space, you're going to get one that's right on you, and so we're going to make it hard for them.
What's it like for both of you to share this moment with your loved ones and your family being here?
I mean, this one for the books. This is a special moment for us to take in, and we just been waiting for it since forever, since day one. And we're going to take this national championship back home, and we're just going to celebrate.
It feels amazing. I'm just so happy to be able to share it with everybody.
what do you want to say to the fans who are watching back in Columbia right now and couldn't be here?
Thank y'all for everything. Even if you didn't make the trip, we heard you every game in the CLA. You guys are the best fans in the country.
Yes, you've been supporting us since day one. We appreciate your support. Even if you're here or from afar, we appreciate it, we feel it, and we love you.
I do want to ask you really quickly, Aaliyah, because we heard you shout out Candace Parker. For those that don't know, what's the relationship with Candace?
I mean, I really just love Candace Parker. No, honestly, I mean, growing up, I watched the WNBA and I watched her on the Sparks, and just seeing how tall she is, being able to do what she does on the court, I mean, I look up to her to this day, and people in interviews ask me, they're like, who's somebody that you try to model your game after? I'm like, Candace, automatic. I'm not there yet, but for sure her, because she can do everything.
Oh, you're getting there.
She would know. She knows Candace Parker.
Hey, but I got one more because I saw you share a moment on the court with a dominant center of South Carolina that won the first national championship with A'ja Wilson. What did that mean for you to share that with her?
It was so special, and I think it just shows you the kind of family that South Carolina has, because A'ja was here supporting us, dancing with us, and I mean, she started this all. She started it all.
Dawn Staley cutting down the net now.
I'm wondering, ladies, I see the nets are around your wrist right now. Have you figured out where you're going to keep your nets?
It's going to add to the collection on my wall.
Oh, the collection. Oh, so we expect more nets,
absolutely.
Aaliyah. Okay, all right. I love that. We're actually going to talk to your coach in just a little bit. But again, just an incredible performance, an incredible season for you guys.
Thank you.
And not an easy one because you had a marker on your back. AP #1, wire to wire. It's only happened a handful of times that a team was able to actually win that championship. And for you all to do that, knowing that everyone was coming for you, I think is really indicative of not only your poise, but also your focus. And that's what your coach kept saying. She was like, I have never been around a team this serious. They are about that business. And, well, destiny fulfilled. Okay, I'm done. I'll stop with the puns, Destiny. I'm just saying.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Go celebrate.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
All right, when we come back from break, we will have Dawn Staley join us right now. She's got so many accolades for her career, and now she becomes the first head coach in tournament history to beat Geno Auriemma in a national championship. South Carolina, your national champs. We are back here on SportsCenter coming to you, hey, from the Target Center. Dawn Staley and her South Carolina Gamecocks just won their second national championship. And Dawn is joining us now here on set. We see you fit the love, the energy, you've been light. And your team came out here and seemed so poised. We talked about how calm and collected they were. Were you even surprised about the start of that game?
I wasn't. No? I wasn't. I saw the focus on Saturday. I saw the focus today and shoot around. Like, there are just certain things that coaches see in players and teams. And I felt especially great when Aaliyah, it was pregame. She was like, we're ready. She said, we're ready. So I don't have to address anything in the locker room besides, what the game plan is. They brought everything else to the table. I just reiterated what the game plan was, and they did it. We didn't actually go to our game plan B. Like, Henny played Paige the entire game, and I don't think she wanted to do anything besides stay with that matchup, utilize her speed, and just try to make it difficult for her. And that's really, really hard to do against somebody like Paige.
Dawn, this is your second one. Which was harder, the first one or the second one?
This one was harder. This one was harder because, we had the target on our backs every single day of this season. And you just never know. Like, I thought we were the best team in the country throughout the season, but the best teams don't always end up winning the national championship. So we had to guard against all of those things. We had to guard against ourselves. We had to guard against what other people thought of our play from time to time. Listen, we don't know what a national championship team looks like. We only know that they win. They score more points than the other team, and it's a tough team that they're playing.
Well, you showed me, Dawn, you had something in your pocket. You had it in your pocket the whole time.
I did.
What you got in there?
at the start of the NCAA tournament this year, I carried this in a mesh bag draped over my backpack. And today was the only time that I took it out. I took it out before I walked out here for the game. And I just wanted constant reminders of how hard it is. And the fact that I shared this with so many other black coaches that they really don't believe that this can ever take place in their lifetime. But it can. Like, it really can. You know, you got to ride the wave when it's hot. I think we rode the wave when it's hot, and we're going to continue to do that. But in the meantime, people's national championship may not be, you know, hoisting a national championship trophy. Okay, it's getting the job. It's like being a head coach on a Division I level. Right. So that's national championship. That is being a dream merchant for young people, first generation college graduates. You know, that's what this signifies. So, you know, yes, I shared my national championship net because we won, but we won before we won. We won before we won because, you know, of who we have to care for every single day. So it's truly an incredible honor. Basketball has been just tremendous. Like I don't know my life without basketball. I do not know it. The life lessons, the hardships, you know, I think I'm socially apt because I was just singly focused on basketball. So I don't encourage anybody to take my path, but certainly when you become a coach, the responsibility of a coach is quite incredible. And that's why I was afraid of being a coach, because I didn't want the responsibility of 18 to 22-year-olds. But when I did, and when I leaned all the way in, I probably get more satisfaction than they do. Mm-hmm. And I'm living my passion.
Yeah. Don, you talk about responsibility, and you are a guardian of the game right now. I mean, I remember Carolyn when she was coaching at Purdue and she won, and I remember C. Vivian Stringer, and I remember you always saying they will be what they see. And you've been a great example for not only the women's game, but for all men and women. It's not just you as I've played women's basketball. Like, you are carrying this torch, and and you're a trailblazer. I don't care how many titles you win. I just want you to personally know that you have paved the way, and that everybody's not going to be able to cut down nets, but their nets may look differently because of the platform that you continue to use to uplift this game, the real game, and that's the game of life.
Appreciate that, Nikki. Appreciate that. I just also want to add this part of it. This game is so special to so many people that I don't think we realize. We don't realize, you know, what it is. I'm going to continue to use my platform. I hope I set an example of when you treat women's basketball like a sport. It's so freaking fulfilling. Yes. It's so freaking fulfilling. Like, and I'm talking to the NCAA tournament people. When you invest in our tournament, like you invest in the men's tournament, I'm talking about, no, ESPN, you're going to get mad at me, but you need some competition. You need some competition, some network competition. That's what drives the money up. And that's what gives us our net worth in our game. And don't get me wrong, ESPN, you've done a great job. You continue to do a great job to give us a platform when nobody else wanted to give us a platform. I think we've arrived at a place where we can continue to grow and grow and grow and be fulfilling to the decision makers. Like, it's a fulfilling, incredible sport that when you lean in and lean in hard, your daughters, your sisters, your mothers can reap the benefit of you leaning in with us.
Dawn, you talked all season about unfinished business. What was it like for you to watch your players, Destiny Lee, all of them, have this moment of winning a national championship?
I'm happy for them. Like, they sacrificed. Destiny Henderson sat for her first 2 years, didn't play a whole lot, and she just waited her turn. And now, I mean, I thought she was the MVP of today. Like, I thought she was the player of the game today. And not a whole lot of young people would have the patience to finish this thing out. They would have, if I don't play my first year, I'm out of here. But the patience of her mother, because that's who it is. Miss James is the one that really kept her right here. She made the commitment. So Destiny Henderson wasn't going anywhere no matter what was happening, because they said, Coach, we believe in you. Mm-hmm. And it just makes me feel great inside, like super great inside for Aaliyah, you know, to turn those tears into happy tears, into a smile. All of them. Zaya Cook had a terrific game today. Mm-hmm. Victoria Saxton has done it. And our bench, I mean, they've been pretty darn solid, you know, all season long. But then the bottom of the bench, the bottom third, as they call them on the team, you know the sacrifice that they had to make. They did not play. They barely got reps because we got a practice squad. Hey, highlighters, that they did a great job. So they would sit on the sideline like, if we don't do three reps a group, they sat today when we only did two cycles of groups. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy for them because their sacrifice means a little bit more because we won.
Yeah, it's a team win. And because of Destiny Henderson's patience and the patience of her mom, she became the first person in 22 seasons to have a career high in a national title game. Incredible. She got incredibly emotional while talking about you and what you have meant to her as she is probably leaving the program. Don, we want to say thank you so much for your visibility, for giving us so much access, and congratulations. You are a national champion for the second time. What you gonna do? Like, what you gonna do? You gonna go kick it? I mean, you got a party? I'm not sleeping tonight. That might even have me a little alcohol tonight. Whoa. We can get to the bar. Congratulations, Coach. We fully expect that we will see you back here on this very big stage. Dawn Staley, national champion, becomes such the second head coach to ever lead a U.S. Olympic gold medaling team and then turn around the next year and do it at the college level as well. Dawn was so brilliant in talking about some of those role players that don't get love. And so while we say goodbye to you from Target Center, I have got to give a big shout out to two of our members that you will never see, Carter Roach and Jenny LaCroix, who have held us down time and time again. We love you. We thank you. We couldn't do this without you. That's it for us from here at the Target Center. We send it back to SportsCenter.
March Madness is officially here. It's the first four for the first time.
68 teams will play for a chance at the national championship.
History made for the Bison. Their first NCAA tournament win.
We run on the edge and across the flames.
Belmont in double overtime. 2 words. March Madness. Triple-double for Olivia Miles. A giant three-pointer.
Brighton has pulled off the stunning upset.
We're knocking on walls. Now it's time to come back and knock the walls down.
Standing tall now.
I wouldn't trade anything that I went through to get to this point.
Coach Walls has built this program into something really special.
I'm going to do whatever I can to get him a national championship.
Beyonce's big, but Raina blows her away. I mean, come on.
We want to play every game like it's our last because it's win or go home.
For the tie! Johnny ticket! Team Street trips to the Final Four!
Stanford will have a chance to defend their national championship.
The Final Four is here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Connecticut Huskies will play for a national title. Rosie Parks.
This is a kid who plays with all her soul.
Aaliyah Boston is ready to punch her ticket.
UC happy tears. We have one more game. We're not going home.
South Carolina and UConn will play for a national championship.